Dude, what a weekend.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Hey,
I got to pop all your
the
butts.
Bengals made it to the playoffs.
They did, regardless. I mean, I didn't care if who won or lost. I'm glad the Browns won, just so I can just end the year a losing streak record. But I knew that it was going to mean nothing. I'm happy that Ohio team went. I would like the Browns to go, but if it had to be anybody, Bengals all the way, baby.
Yeah. I
hope they win the whole thing.
And then
not the Steelers.
Right. And then Georgia won the national championship.
Georgia. Did they really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see that.
It was a crazy game, dude.
That's awesome.
We'll talk about that later too.
Okay.
But we got a special guest on today.
Okay.
Tabitha Limbert.
Oh, I'm used to
the other last name. Yeah.
Turner, yeah.
Yeah. So she's a respiratory therapist, so we're gonna have her on the show here in a little bit. And then she's also she also rides horses and she makes her own jewelry.
Awesome. Yeah, I see her make some of her jewelry. I'm quite curious on how she
I would have no idea where to start on making jewelry.
No idea, but I'm really curious on how someone starts.
My ring is rubber, so
it's about as far as it goes.
But no, man, I watched all of Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, so like the final season,
dude,
good stuff.
It was good. It was real good.
I need to catch up. So I think we talked. I'm not giving any spoilers, but I told him a part where I thought was the next season. He's like, nah, it's 2 seasons behind. I'm like, I was watching it when it was on YouTube when it first came out, and then I just struggled. It came on Netflix, and I just struggled.
Yeah.
Also, it's another thing you watched finally.
I saw Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No Way Home. You watched it Saturday. You said it's amazing. I was on my way to watch it Sunday. Me, my girl, and my cousin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to put the theater on blast because I haven't been to that theater.
No, there's only one theater around here.
Okay, well, now you put them on blast. It could have been anything. Anyway, it's been since I've been back from Texas.
Major theater, by the way.
This theater.
Not local theater.
I went, got the best seats, right in the middle, got there early. Yep. Yeah. And the sound was just terrible. It was just like all the cool previews. You could see everything happening. But it sounded like Matrix. Like you could almost barely hear what they're saying. There's like a robot behind it. It was like, told them, they said, oh yeah, we're going to get this. It's probably just the previews. And then like right when the movie started, it was just, you could hear Spider-Man stuff. And I closed my eyes and tried to walk out because I can't do the movies like that, man.
So did you get a refund?
So we went down there, told them, got a refund. And by the time I got a refund, they're like, hey, the sound's back on. I was like, I already missed the first 10 minutes, man. I'm not doing it. So we're going to try again hopefully this week when I get some time, but I was a little bummed out. But
yeah,
maybe I'll try like a different theater or something.
I mean,
but bad for my cousin. He already had a hot dog and a slushie. So I
did tell Chelsea that next.
So sorry.
I'm not a huge fan of that theater. After going to the theater in Dublin with the like big old recliners and stuff.
So see, in Texas, that's basically all they have.
Dude, it's so nice.
It's really hard to find a theater where it's just like you fold down the seats by yourself. Everything's like a dine-in theater.
Yeah, we got cars that drive themselves.
Yeah,
get up to date,
right? Like the ones literally in Texas, they had ones you could recline.
Yeah,
that they heated and they have speakers inside the seats.
Yeah. You know why I love those movie theaters? For one reason and one reason only, dude. For when my kids want to go watch a cartoon movie, I can pass out for 2 hours.
They are the perfect seats if you want to get some snoozing.
Dude,
for real.
The only reason.
Oh, Tom and Jerry live action? Just gone for 2 hours. Let me know when you need a refill.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, Sonic for the 15th time?
Yep. Need to get 2 hour rest. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah.
Go to the good one. Yeah. It's
an hour and a half drive, but it's worth it. And the kids love it, and it's more comfortable. The kids love it because they can it's like it's like being at home with a massive screen.
Yeah, they need to have more movie theaters around here. That's more like that because most of them in Texas are like for instance, Studio Movie Grill. Yeah, you hit a little button, dude comes to your thing. He's like, hey, what do you want? I'm like, yo, I want this bacon blue cheeseburger.
Yeah,
and a tall Miller or whatever, beer, or whatever, and they just bring it to you.
Dude,
like, cool, man. That's awesome.
You're reminding me of Cincinnati Reds right now.
Oh, going down and
diamond seats, dude.
Oh, you don't have to go anywhere. They just come to you. You're like, what do you want? I'm like,
we got
everything.
We got to hit one of those. This next year or this year now. But yeah.
Well, there's two good spots. I I know you went to the diamond seats, but I went to some like box office seats.
Yeah. You went up to the...
That if we get like a small group, there's different... I mean, we got the biggest one. You get like 40 people in there, which is awesome.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind being right behind home plate, though.
Dude.
And nice.
It's everything. It's all included in your... really, if you think about it, if you can spend... if you go to Cincinnati, obviously you're going to have a hotel already anyway. Well, for the most part.
If you're getting a night game. Yeah. That's probably the best thing because it's going to be the coolest. Not sitting there baking in the sun all day.
Exactly. Do a night game. It's, what did I tell you it was? Like $270, $280 per ticket.
Yeah.
But think about this. If you went to a really nice restaurant and you spent on a meal between you and your special person, whoever that may be out there.
Yeah.
And there's $120 right there plus tip.
I'll say that's not even including the alcohol.
Yeah. $120 plus tip right there.
Yeah.
Then let's not count, snacks or lunches for the next day, breakfast the next morning. Well, I guess you can still include breakfast, but you're at that game, man. All you can drink, all you can eat, even an hour and a half after the game.
Oh, really? So you can, after it's still done and over with?
You get an hour and a half before the game and an hour and a half after the game.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Pre-game at the pre-game?
Unless it's a fireworks night. Then as soon as the fireworks start, they cut it off.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's still cool, though, because I remember you telling me, like, the food they have there is stuff that you can't get at the regular...
Oh, it's like a 5-star restaurant downstairs.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Bro, I had filet mignon.
Yeah.
Shrimp, Caesar salad. Like, yeah.
And it's all part of the ticket.
Yeah, it's all part of the ticket.
And what was funny is, I don't know if we said it on one of the other podcasts, but I could see him on TV the whole entire game, basically.
I'm not that hard to miss.
Well, it was more your wife. You were right on the corner, but you're wearing your RMG pink shirt. I was like, oh, he's at the corner.
Yeah.
All right, batter up. And I was like,
did that on purpose.
You're on TV.
Free sponsors.
Yep. It's like, look at me right here, RMG. But yeah, it's all... It looked awesome.
Yeah,
the box seats I went billboard. Right. But yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. I'm excited.
For sure.
But now, I think I told you right before the podcast that I was looking for football yesterday, and I realized there's no more Monday Night Football.
No, we got Saturdays and Sundays. That's it.
Yeah, why Saturdays? Is that how they always did it for the
playoffs? Yeah.
Okay. Because they had a couple of Saturday games this year too. So I was like, what's going on with that?
And the Buckeyes beat Utah. I don't think we talked about that in the last show, did we? We might have. It's been a while.
The Eats.
What?
What are the Utah what?
The Utah Utes.
Oh, the Utes. That was the Eats.
Yeets. Yeet.
Yeah, they won that. Oh, no, I think we did. Because I asked what was closer, the Buckeye game or the Bengal game?
That's right. Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah.
So
everything runs together anymore, guys. I'm sorry.
Just painting a long picture.
So hey, also while we're just sitting here talking right now, before we get Tabby on the show here, we want to let everybody know that we are looking for production assistants actually for the show.
Yeah.
So if you're in high school or college right now and bored on Mondays or Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights or actually whenever you're free, we can work around your schedule too.
Yeah.
Please reach out to us, hit us up on YouTube. You can also email us at info@rainsmg.com.
Yep.
And then if you're interested in production or
podcasting.
Yeah, podcasting. If you're interested in becoming a director or if you're interested in editing and stuff like that or in camera techniques and camera stuff for video. I'll say that for my photography friends because there's so many of them and they will get mad at me if I say I'll teach you camera stuff. But but yeah, if you're interested in any of that stuff, please reach out to us. If you want to get some valuable experience in podcasting and stuff like that, yeah, reach out to us and we'll try to get you on the show and have you help us out. So,
yeah, absolutely. We love some assistance.
Yeah, because we're getting busy in our work life and it gets to be a lot sometimes, I know we're probably like 4 episodes that we got stored in the bank right now, ready to open up. So,
hey, but that's a good thing. Yeah, we are a little backed up, but hey, help us help you.
Exactly. So
nice.
All right. Well, hey, with that being said, though, let's get the show started. Roll it. Do it. What's up, everybody? Social Guys here.
What's up?
Treg and Adam, and let's welcome our guest Tabitha Limbert.
Hey.
What's up, Tabby?
That sounds so weird when you say Tabitha Limbert. Like, I'm still not used to it after getting married.
That's when he said, like, Tabitha Limbert's going to be on there. I was like,
who's that?
Who that be? Who dat?
Just, Tabby Turner.
It's like, oh, like, I know that name.
Yeah, Timmy Turner.
Great.
I was like, cool.
Fairly Godparents.
Funny story about that. I had one of my professors in college. She would always call me Timmy Turner because she's just like, you remind me of Fairly Godparents. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Timmy Turner.
That works.
Appreciate it.
That's such
awesome.
a memorable way to be, right?
Right? Man.
That's awesome.
Hey, we want to thank Clue Studio, our studio sponsor, for sponsoring the studio today. Thank you,
getting
Clue
us in
Studio, photography and design. If you need any albums done or anything like that, or if you need family photos, newborn photos, wedding photos, anything like that, please be sure to get a hold of Rebecca and Jeff here. They do an amazing job, and we thank them dearly for letting us use the studio on the reg.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So, Adam, what do you got here for us? I think Adam's got us a drink for today.
He's the bartender tonight.
Well, he made
Mountain
this.
Dew.
He made this Mountain Dew with. He was using like an oil filter or something.
Getting it all ready for you.
It's like a moonshiner here.
Y'all graduated, or even
when
drank
did you
back
go
in
to
the day.
prison, bro?
This is the white trash version. I don't know if you heard of this. The drink called Skittles. You take Mountain Dew,
Skittles.
any type of your kind, any type of vodka, mixed drink you want to do. And you're supposed to do a bag of Skittles, and you mix it inside of both of them with, you have to dump out a little bit of Mountain Dew, then dump in your vodka.
Oh, this is all now coming back to me.
Yes, and then you dump in Skittles in here, let it sit overnight, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh.
You're ready to taste the rainbow.
Exactly. But if you want to do a quick version instead of Skittles, you just get like 2 packs of different, whatever your flavor is, of Kool-Aid mix, and mix it in there, and you get Skittles. And that's what we're going to try today.
So there's like half Mountain Dew. The rest is all vodka.
So I chunked it out to about maybe right.
At least we have a mixer in there.
So it's not so much, but you can definitely taste the rainbow. Yeah, you're right.
The alcoholic rainbow.
Oh boy.
This brings back the good old days.
Yeah.
Yep. I was telling Adam there was a girl in college that
Take me back to 22.
right. She used to have like one of those shot dispensers, and she would make Skittle shots all the time. It'd be like color coordinated by the Skittles. So like if you wanted the green Skittle shot, like there you go. You want the red one, like you want the orange one.
So they know what was up about the rainbow.
They did.
Bro,
like
That is sweet.
they were
I
ready
can
to.
smell the vodka from here.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
I
it
can
tastes so good.
So that is
You guys
our
should really try this at home.
mixer for the day. Like I said, you can mix
Who
your...
needs to taste it when you can smell it?
So, cheers, guys.
Yeah, salute.
Cheers.
All right. Should we take it as a shot or a drink?
I'm not sure yet.
Wow. It brings back good times. Wow.
Oh, it's not too bad.
No,
it's not
not.
terrible.
It tastes like Kool-Aid.
It smells
I think we had to let it
way more.
I think you did better by letting it sit for a minute.
That's
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Yeah.
Let us sit for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was tasting it earlier, I was like, whoa.
I think that's the key to anything. Just let her simmer for a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Sit for a little bit. Oh, think a little bit.
Yeah. Let me if you guys want any more.
Rack
Get a
some
whole
dough.
2 liter full.
Okay, yeah. It's pretty good.
That's not bad at all, actually. It's almost got like that
Drink of the day.
It's almost like it doesn't really. I get the Skittles at first, but then like the aftertaste is more like a sweet tart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of has a little, I bet you that's like the souriness from like the
Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know that has like that little bitterness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely, yeah. Try a different try Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Try a little live wire. or
Really not
something.
much of a Mountain
not
Dew
bad, though.
taste to it.
it's really not that bad.
Super sweet.
This gives me like the Saturday Night Live vibe when they're like doing the NRP, you know, like
This gives me a Saturday Night Live Saturday Night Live vibe. That's a lot to say at
that
once.
really is.
Saturday Night Live vibe. Jeez. The SNLV.
Yep. There we go. That's better.
Getting the SNLV here of 23 and driving home.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Do not do that.
Let's not.
Do not drink and pedal.
Yeah.
We've got a whole 2-liter here.
Said Fred Flintstone. Good deal. All right, hey Tabby, let's get into what you do a little bit. So you're a respiratory therapist now, right?
I am.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for about 3 years now.
Okay.
And this past year, I actually went from like just being a staff therapist, meaning like working at a hospital full time, to becoming a traveler.
What made you make the jump?
Money.
Yeah. Legit, yeah.
I mean that, but no, I was getting to a point where I had like kind of experienced all I felt like I could at the hospital that I was at.
Did you feel stuck, a little stationary?
A little bit. I kind of was just like, I was just ready to experience something else and grow. And you see how one hospital does it. It kind of turns into, well, let's see how another place does this.
Yeah, check it out. Bring your experience to somebody else. Like, hey,
Right.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you on that. Mm-hmm. So, people move, when they move jobs, usually they're moving jobs because better pay, better benefits, stuff like that. And I might be wrong here by grouping medical in this category like this, but I don't know. I feel like is it basically like a lateral move for any medical profession? I mean, I'm sure there's a slight dollar raise or a couple bucks raise or something like that, or maybe some different benefits or whatever. But for the most part, is it usually like a lateral raise if you're going from let's just say one hospital to the other?
I mean, if you're not doing it in a travel aspect, absolutely. Like they might offer you a little bit more, or you might like their 401k a little bit better. But I think realistically, for example, when I first started working, I was working at Miami Valley Hospital. And that was all the way down in Dayton.
Right.
And so I was driving every day an hour from Wapak to Dayton. So if I would have, and everybody kept saying, well, why don't you work at St. Rita's? Why don't you work in Sydney? Why don't you work?
They don't pay enough.
Well, for one, yeah. Or it was just also experience. Bigger hospitals offer bigger experiences. They see larger trauma centers. And I'm not saying that any of the hospitals around here are lacking in that. But for me, I wanted an experience.
There's more going on at those places.
Definitely, yeah, and definitely more room for growth. Even as a baby RT, as I would say, or a little respiratory therapist just starting out on their own.
He's baby RT. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, a baby RT.
At first, I thought you said baby RC. I was like, oh, you guys race cars there too. That's cool.
No, well, and I shouldn't say that because RT, everybody says a nurse is an RN, so registered nurse. Yeah. So RT, registered or respiratory therapist.
Right,
so. We always call them RTs for short because respiratory therapy or respiratory therapist is kind of a mouthful too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
kind of like Saturday Night Live vibe.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live vibe.
I was just about to say that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to let him take that. I'll take that one.
So, for me, it was all about the experience and what the hospital that I was working at before had to offer me as far to help me grow, because these smaller hospitals, you're going to have your therapists that have been doing this for 10 to 20 years versus your newer therapist. There's more room for you to grow and get into an ICU quicker rather than 5 years and now I'm finally getting in an ICU and working with a ventilator or something like that. So, I saw more room for growth at this hospital, and that I did. I kind of say I got really good at my job very quickly because, I had to. Our hospital was 800-900 beds. You had to get good at taking large patient loads even before the pandemic and learning very quickly. And
definitely. What a time to learn if you were just starting during the pandemic time.
Yeah. Right. And I had a blessing of being able to start before.
And URTs have had it pretty bad during all this, right?
We're kind of
cheers to that.
Boy, have we. We're kind of this is kind of a fun analogy I use. We're the Batman of the hospital. You flag us and page us down when something's going wrong. If you really need me, you really can't breathe. So I guess we can get into that a little bit. What exactly is a respiratory therapist? Because
for sure.
It's kind of funny because nobody really knows.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I know it has something to do with breathing.
Yeah, good. Context clues.
Does it have anything to do with lungs?
Maybe just a little bit.
Oh my gosh, we're getting closer.
We're getting closer. So basically what my job entails is anything to do with the lungs, right? Like anytime somebody's short of breath, and there's a wide variety. There's, when somebody's on oxygen, like we're the ones managing that, especially once it gets up to a higher level, and there's different devices that we can use for somebody's oxygen, or if somebody's having trouble breathing in general, not just like their oxygen level, like feeling short of breath, we intervene. We have many interventions. We use breathing treatments is the most common,
Right.
Everybody always thinks that's going to fix something. Well, when that doesn't work, what do we do? So
is that the go-to still? Breathing treatments?
Yes.
I feel like they don't work.
They do.
She's like, oh, they don't.
Like what kind of breathing treatments?
So there's different, there's tons of different drugs.
Here's some grape smoke.
I know a few friends.
Here's some Skittles.
Well, I have a few friends that have, asthma or even, really bad asthma where I've had to, call hospitals and have an ambulance come take them or, drop them off somewhere.
Oh, God.
It's like, dude, what? How can I help you? And they're just like,
there's deep breathing treatment.
Oh my God.
So yeah, there's definitely please live. Please start breathing again.
I give you mouth to mouth? What do I do?
I say that on a daily basis. Please start breathing again.
Oh my God. What a day.
Can you please not try to die on me right now?
I tell people to breathe.
Yeah.
45 times a day.
Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time.
If you need me, page me at do not call 411.
Facts, yeah.
Call me at Just Breathe.
Just breathe.
800.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different medications that we can give them that are, inhaled medications. Albuterol is one of the most popular ones, or
That's one I hear a lot.
yeah, it's that albuterol. It fixes everything. Everybody always thinks, even when it doesn't. But there's definitely
That was codeine.
right. That too. So, there's obviously different indications, but when that doesn't work, what is our next step? And so we have all sorts of different modalities. It depends on why they can't breathe, right? Like there's thousands of reasons, and a lot of schooling is behind as to why we can't breathe. So
it's not just all in their head, right?
Right. No, sometimes it is. It's like,
stop it.
Just stop it. Just
you stop. No, I do new breathing. People that have the asthma, they're just like, maybe it's just in my head. I'm like, all right, let's go for a jog. They're like, nah, I'm cool.
No, it's good, man. Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. I'll die today.
So it's not just in their head. It's a real.
Yeah, it's like a real thing. And we can hear that by breath sounds. Like one of our biggest tools that we use is our stethoscopes. So like our ears are definitely like the biggest indicator on what we hear in your lungs. And based on that sound, does it sound like a wheeze? Okay, then that's an asthma, like typical albuterol. This is going to help it because those airways are basically constricting. Like they're
So what is asthma?
Asthma is, my God, I hope none of my teachers listen to this.
But we know what asthma is, just the general term. But I'm saying
your lungs are more constricted.
So what happens with asthma? It's actually an obstructive disease. So what happens is your lungs just basically kind of just like your airways. Basically, we call it a bronchospasm. That's the technical term for that, and that's a fancy term for just saying those airways are just kind of closing down and saying, nope, I don't want to take in any air. I don't want to take out any air right now.
So it's in the exhale stationary motion and then just and some.
Yeah,
just
pretty much.
Okay.
So when you hear it, it's you hear it when they're trying to breathe out. You might hear your friends when they're having an asthma attack, that kind of wheeziness. I can't. Yeah.
What is anything going in? Is anything coming out? They're just super struggling for air.
Yeah.
That's why I just want to give them should I just give you mouth to mouth? Should I just blow in your what do I do?
Sure.
Right.
No, if it's for your life, bro.
We're gonna do this. Yeah.
I'm what is it, sandlotting it? This magic. I'll give you life.
Cool. I'm going to fake it.
Windy peppercorn.
Forever.
So yeah, but there's so much more than that. So it goes down to without getting too technical, because obviously, I'm kind of a lung nerd here.
You can. We don't know anything.
Yeah. School us.
So, how much time do we got, boys?
All the time in the world.
So beyond that, like we have different modalities. Like when somebody has the pneumonia, we can do vibratory therapies that help break up all that stuff in the lungs and like help them get it up and out, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to breathe better is when we start getting that nasty stuff out of there.
So there is something in there.
Yeah, like for pneumonia, there would be. Yep. There's just a bunch of junk in your lungs, for put it simply. There could be, when we're at the point that we're failing to breathe, okay, now we're getting machinery involved. Like, are we using a BiPAP, which is just a machine that helps air go, like that gives them pressures during the inspiration phase.
Like that big machine with like the compression thing inside of it?
That would be a ventilator is what you're thinking of, but
that's worse.
They're a bit more advanced than that now. We don't have the billows with them that are like,
yeah. That's just for dramatic effect in movies, huh?
You're making Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes, pretty much. So like we would put somebody on a BiPAP or a CPAP, like what you sleep with at night. But sometimes we need this to help them breathe continuously, because we're like, our next step is, okay, we're failing now. Yeah. We need to go on a ventilator. And then that would be where I definitely step in, and I'm going to be the one managing your ventilator, like, obviously with like doctor orders, but most of the time, a lot of times in emergent situations, like we're like, this is what they need. Like we're setting the amount of times on a ventilator, how many times they're going to breathe, how much air, how much volume is going into their lungs, like, or what pressure.
What's the calculations that go into that?
Oh, there's so many. That's why I spent a lot of time in school. Too many.
I mean, it
Boyle's Law.
Yeah. It just sounds like there's a lot of like math behind that.
Oh my God, there's so much math, and I was not good at math in college. Like, and then here I am managing your lungs,
just keeping us alive,
keeping you alive, making you breathe.
Just breathe, man.
There are so many calculations. I mean, we go into like your ideal body weight and like how.
Okay, Treg, by this calculation, it says you need to breathe 6,900 times a minute.
We like so we'll set like a volume. Like I have like I have like a nice cheat sheet. It's like this little table, and it, like you go off somebody's height, and then you go off of like, how many. Like you'll go off of their height in inches, and then you'll say like, what's your target? Like how many cc's like per ideal body weight do you want to go? And so like you can go like 6 would be on the lower side, 8 would be like on the high side. So we'd be like, oh, we want 6 cc's. Okay, how tall are they? They're 5'10". Okay, that's however many inches. I can't do that right now. Right. But so and I'm like, okay, cool. Some people have like calculator and they like bust it out, like some of the old school RTs, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just going to bust out my cheat sheet and, here we go. You know what I mean? So there's so many different ways, and I feel like this is like, there's just so much behind what we do and what we have to know. Like, and it's a lot of times in very.
So that's good though.
I mean, it is. I mean, a lot of times it's very emergent, like dire situations. Like we are the airway. We are the ones that are, and protecting it and making you breathe physically. And when you don't want to do it on your own, by God, I will make you.
There we go.
That's good.
I mean, I feel like this was like a really boring part. People are probably like snoozing, but it is. I mean,
that's one thing keeping the body alive. Like you have to breathe. So that's. And it's who you want to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so crazy, like the different organs that like focus or like that also make you breathe.
Yeah, right.
Like, we have to know a lot about the heart and the brain and how that works too. So we're like your little cardiopulmonary specialists, like,
Yeah, it is with oxygen, so a lot of stuff in your body has to do, like, needs
your
oxygen.
whole body needs oxygen, man. So if you ain't oxygenating, you're probably not breathing, just saying.
Heard those have something to do with trees and breezes.
Yeah, I mean.
Photosynthesis.
All the green cells.
But that's cool, though. That's good to know that you guys have a super huge knowledge of all that stuff, especially when trying to live.
Yeah.
And you need someone to breathe. That's good that, to have somebody that...
I mean, who knew
it was so much stuff behind this? Like,
I mean,
that's good.
Who knew it was so complicated to live and breathe, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, good God. So it's like, long story short, you can't breathe, throw the bat signal out. Chances are a respiratory therapist is going to come help you. Like,
awesome.
You're dying, need CPR. Like, got you.
So now you've been doing traveling for how long now?
It's actually just now been a year. I just started last year.
Yeah. How do you like it so far?
I love it because I'm a person, like, I feel like we all know, like, I have the attention span of a flea, so I get very bored very easily.
So seeing different people and different sites and stuff is definitely...
Oh, yeah. And, like, just seeing the way that, like, different hospitals work and, like, the different types of hospital. Like, this next hospital I'm going to is what we call a long-term care facility. So these are people that are too sick to go home, but not sick enough to be in the hospital still. Like, so like a Kindred or something like that. Yeah. And so these are a lot of like our trach patients, our long-term patients that we are trying to wean and get them better so they can breathe on their own without, you know, a hole in their neck.
Right.
Literal hole. So
is that called a trach?
Yep, it's called a tracheostomy, but we call it a trach for short.
My wife makes me watch some Grey's Anatomy sometimes.
I thought you said my wife calls me trach. My name's
Trach. Trach.
Oh, so I help you breathe. You're welcome.
I am the breath to our marriage.
You need me to live. Call me what you will.
My wife calls me Trach sometimes. Trach. What?
Oh, you even got that good trach cough too. Like, oh boy, what's coming up? That's probably the worst part of my job, to be honest. When like a trach patient's like, you need to suction me, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. What's coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah.
Stand back.
I'll just dab that for you.
Just use chopsticks.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh god.
No, you don't.
Nope.
Sorry for anyone out there with.
I hope you're not eating Chinese.
What's it called?
Right now.
Trachway?
Trach Express.
The old trach train.
Yeah. We use a noodle-like looking suction catheter, actually.
Oh my god. Your job sounds so fun. I have a blast with some people.
It's like, ooh.
Sometimes I'm just like, can you just like cough that up yourself? Come on, try and cough it up, buddy. And they'll start coughing. You like stand back, like, oh god, like
when they clear
back up. Yeah,
gotta cover everything,
dude. Straight up, some people are so gross. Like they're just like they'll cough like so hard, and you're just like, oh god, like, and I'll like back up and like some dude.
Where's your turtleneck? So sorry. It's the Skittles, okay?
It's the Skittles. Freaking love Skittles.
God, love me some Skittles. And like this dude coughed so hard, like I backed up, like I like went to this wall, and like he coughed a loogie up so bad, it like went to the wall, and I was like,
oh, that's Adam's favorite.
Free will. Oh, dude. No.
I was like, oh, like I just looked at him in pure amazement.
I would have lost it.
Adam would have vomited.
Sorry, we made it real now. I'm gonna
He
throw
made
up.
it real.
I'm gonna throw up.
Now nobody wants to do what I do. But I was like, do you feel better, buddy? And he was just like, oh, he took this big breath, and I was like, yeah, I bet you do.
It happens, man.
Like, give him a pat on the back, buddy. Like, it's the worst.
It's not as my worst enemy.
Yeah, man, you would not like what I do. This is pretty
I would
icky.
love to help people breathe.
Dude,
Like
if anybody blows their
that.
nose in the office, like throughout the day while we're at work, he's like, oh, gross.
Oh,
like,
God.
like you'll just hear him like out, like.
Oh my god, you would not like my job.
Like I think I do it like so subtly sometimes, and he like I just hear him in the background of like the office. He's like, oh, gross.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of nurses that don't like to suction. It always cracks me up because they'll just call respiratory.
I know a lot of women that don't like to suction.
And like they'll be like, "Can you suction my patient?" And I'll be like, "Oh,
Hey.
you want to get on my bad side? That's the way
I
to
would do the
it."
same thing. I would be like, hey, you need some help? Yeah, let me hold up. Yeah, someone needs someone.
Someone needs someone.
Someone needs something that's not
Someone
me.
needs somebody. I'm feeling a little woozy, man.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it too, though. Like, and it's a shared responsibility for a reason, because like you're literally like I might have 30 patients to their like nowadays 7, and that's a lot for a nurse. But like I've got 30 of them, and one of me, depending on what I'm in the middle of doing. You can't just leave that airway obstructed, because then we're going to run into a bigger problem.
Yeah,
then they're going to code.
they need
Then
to
their
breathe,
oxygen's going to drop, and now
So
you're
you
going
have to do that. Yeah.
Like you've got to. Like
Right.
and so I'll be nice the first time. Be like, oh, do you not know how to? Like, let me educate you. Like, let's do this together, and I will watch you, and you are on your own, babe. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it's a suction thing. At least I don't got to, at least there's something
in between you.
Yes.
It's in a catheter.
Yeah.
It's literally in a catheter.
So, and especially if I'm helping to save someone's life to breathing, I'm going to get in there.
You're going to get in there. You're going to get that sputum.
Oh, God. Grody.
I'm sorry. I totally just said that on purpose just to make him like wince.
He does it too. He does it too. Oh, yummy.
I'm so sorry.
No, hey,
this is so gross. This is probably like the grossest
it's
podcast.
Part of the
I'm
it's
so
part of the
sorry.
It's all right. We love this. No. This is what makes it.
People are probably like, and turned off.
This is what makes it cut. No, actually, they're probably turning it up right now.
Wait for me to vomit on camera. God.
Like, I'm so sorry. This is so gross. I shouldn't even talk about it. It's the Skittles.
Like, sorry, and you're welcome.
So now you've been doing. You said you've been doing traveling for. You just finished your year up.
Yep.
And where were you at for a year?
So I take 13-week contracts. So I've actually been to 3 different places.
Jeez.
So that's how many months?
They're 3 months at a time usually.
months,
Unless they want you to stay, they'll offer an extension, or like if they don't have room for you, like they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, like your 13 weeks is up. Like, see you, buddy."
When my wife did it, the signing bonuses were pretty nice.
Yeah. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Traveling right now in general is pretty nice.
I bet.
Anybody that's like in healthcare right now, they're probably just like, yeah, you jerk.
So where'd you go first?
So I went to where I'm going back to. I went to Select Specialty Hospital in Newark, Ohio, which is just like about a half hour east of Columbus.
Okay.
It's just a small 35-bed facility. I did 13 weeks there. And then I was basically covering somebody's maternity leave. So when my 13 weeks was up, I went on my way and I took my next contract, and then I went to the University of Toledo Medical Center.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you little rockets, you. So I was there for 13 weeks. And then after that, I kind of took summer vacation and I took the summer off. And then in September, I went to Vermont until, I just
That was a bigger jump.
That was a huge jump.
Yeah.
A huge jump.
How long of a drive was that?
11 and a half hours.
Nope.
If you go straight through.
Nope.
Jeez.
Yep. Pedal to the metal. I like, that's why I listened to your podcast. You guys kept me company for 11 and a half hours.
Hell yeah.
I bet.
You could only listen to so much music and you're just like, all right,
I know. I know. When I used to plow snow, I was the same way. Like I had to listen to ESPN radio. So that way I could just visit, so that way I could literally either laugh out loud or tell people they're idiots, like while I'm in the car by myself.
Yeah, mine was, I worked at the Costco gas station, and I would have my Bluetooth glasses on, where it didn't look like I had anything in my ears. They would just go through my skull, and I would just be like, look at me, I'm like,
people looking at you like you're crazy.
what's up? Have a good day. Need help?
Yeah, though, you're right. Though. Like, like when I was in the snowplow, I mean, because we'd be in there for 16 hours on a day, and I tell you what, man.
You can do so much music, man.
Oh,
You can,
dude,
like-
Does that
music
put me to sleep? Or
It
something?
would. Well, especially with the heat just blowing.
Yeah. I mean, and it would just get so redundant. And at first I'd start off with like, the car jams, right? Like just like road trip drop, like
90s.
yeah, right.
That's usually how it goes. It starts
80s
off,
Joel.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
starts off with genres and different stuff to keep you awake. You're like, you know what?
Yep.
Go to the podcast.
Yeah, and so then it was
Then you
like,
ponder to yourself whatever happened to No Doubt for about 20 minutes.
and then you're back on listening to No Dig. Yeah, you're listening to like Gwen Stefani, So I mean, you just find ways to entertain yourself.
Just a whiskey drink. All right. Next song. I can't do this shit anymore.
Right? Like next. Oh, nope. Like I can't even think. It's just a random like
Wait. Is that Chumbawamba?
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
Google Play or Google like Android Auto has like name that tune basically, and they'll give you like 15-second clips. So I was like doing that for a
cool.
while, and you could
that would
play
be fun.
against somebody that also was on the road.
That's
so it would be
sweet.
like No Diggity, No Doubt, like coming on, and you're just like, oh,
Perfect.
Blackstreet.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect pitch.
Like-
Pitch perfect.
That's cool. Well,
So-
I'm glad we can help you out on your 11-hour trip.
Yeah, man, I made it a lot more than I thought I would.
About what Texas was. It was 15 hours.
Right,
I was
like-
like, oh, God.
Right, and it was nice because at least like my halfway point was Buffalo, New York. So like,
The only thing you listen to on your drive is deer hair.
Yeah, we hit a deer. I was talking to my girl. I was telling her about how Ohio has so much more deer, and we're going to hit a deer mid-Arkansas. I was like, great. And,
Great.
all right.
and here it is.
This is our start.
Here's where the
hear
deer come in.
Just hear the deer.
Got out, couldn't even find it. I was going to finish the job. Guess I hit it hard enough to mess my car up, but it just kept on cruising. I was like,
dude, if you haven't totaled your car or hit a deer in your car, like, bless you, because it's the worst experience.
I've not.
Like,
I haven't until we were
you better
driving back.
knock on that desk right there. Like,
I know.
So we moved back from Texas. I was telling her how Ohio's got so much more.
I'm a very offensive driver though. Ask Adam.
Oh, when we were in the car, but I don't know if it's just your white box Jeep.
I don't know.
You know, people like you're driving down like a main road and you get all the stop signs coming up next to you and stuff like that. You get people that come out and past the little white line where you're supposed to stop at. So we're like, oh God, stop. Like they're going to come out in front of us.
I do it every day.
So every time I'm just like, we're both like, whoa, okay. Grandpa, what are you doing?
all right, back it up there, Grace.
For real. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like you're just going to pull out right in front of us.
Drives me insane. I'm a very offensive driver because of that reason.
But in his defense, though, I'm with you a lot in the car.
Yeah.
And we didn't even ask our new guy, Jared, if we can. He probably does the same thing with you, but people almost pull out in front of this giant tank of a Jeep
right
all the time. It's like, how do you not see this thing?
People do that with my Expedition, and I'm just like, what? Like,
maybe it's just big cars. Or
hello?
No, hers is white too, right?
Yeah, mine's white. Maybe it's white cars.
I think it's white
I did
cars.
have a lot of problems with my Ford Focus.
I think it's white cars.
And that was crispy white.
Comment below if you have to drive offensively because you have a white vehicle.
Should you technically drive defensively because like you're defending your vehicle? Like I feel like my dad would always say be a defensive driver. Like,
a defensive driver is somebody who is like angry drivers. Those are
getting defensive.
that's like angry drivers though.
Well, I mean,
road rage.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I'm saying though that term blankets angry drivers.
Gotcha, defending. So you'd be like trying to be on the offensive, like trying to get around people.
Yep.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that.
You try to evade defenders.
I feel like that's a good debate. Like
it is.
I think it is.
It is.
Comment below also if defensive or offensive. What do you think it is? What do you think? Comment below what kind of driver
Comment
you
below
are.
if you're a defensive driver, so that way I can kick your ass.
On that note, I might need some more Skittles.
We get defensive driving. I want to know the names and numbers of people who don't use their goddamn turn signal
and addresses.
Sorry. Okay.
We will find you.
And I will rip your blinker off.
Yeah. I'll rip your trach out.
Don't make me do it. I'm qualified.
I know someone.
Certified trach ripper.
Send the lung buster out.
Trach ripper. They call me Trach the Ripper.
That's what I was just about to say. I was about to say new rap name. Yes.
Oh God, I can't breathe. You've made the respiratory therapist unable to breathe. That's not good.
That's great.
Who helps the RT if they can't breathe?
Who helps me?
Who helps the bat signal thrower uppers? Like, damn it.
Bat signals up.
So now, how'd you like Vermont though while you were there?
Oh my God, it was gorgeous. Like
Really?
Gorgeous.
honest to God, like Ohio has season changes, right? Like so we were there in the fall. And
I have heard Vermont's beautiful in the fall.
oh my God. Well, so there's a thing called leafers. And
They
it's
go to watch the leaves change colors.
Yes.
Yes,
And-
I've heard of this.
Oh, cool.
yeah, so no, not cool because when you're trying to drive somewhere,
Oh, there's a bunch of people blocking on the side of the road.
oh my God,
It
yes,
looks like they're
people
trying to
just-
shoot a movie out there.
It-
You're just trying to drive.
You're just trying to drive. Like,
I
so
gotcha.
I lived in a town called Burlington. Actually, I lived in Shelburne, which was just like right on the
They have a
outskirts of
coat factory
Burlington.
there.
Yeah, they do. That's literally where it came from.
Really? Okay,
That was
cool.
a fun fact because I said that too, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's like from here," and I'm like, "Oh, my bad.
Cool. I already knew.
Sorry about that, Kim K.
Should have known."
Yeah.
How silly of me. Also, a fun fact:
Meet out with your sister, man. No.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream is from Stowe, Vermont, which that's the
really?
town that I was just getting ready to say. Like Stowe's
really?
like a very touristy town. It's like about an hour.
STOW?
STOWE.
Oh, okay. Stowy. They don't want you to call it that.
No, you don't say the E. Also, there's a
I
Charlotte.
would definitely call it Stowy the entire time I was there.
Well, there's a Charlotte, Vermont, and it's spelt like Charlotte.
Oh,
So my-
Charlotte.
Yeah, they know if you're an out of towner, like because I would say like,
So we
oh yeah,
should-
I'm going to Charlotte, and they're like, it's Charlotte.
So we should go and order coffee there one day and just be like, can I get a cup of coffee?
Right.
They'd be like, excuse me? I'd be like, oh, you must not be from here.
You guys out of town and work here? Yeah. That's nice.
That's nice.
So
can I get a Caesar salad?
So many words we could do this with. So
Road.
Right, road. Excuse me, you're on the side of the road. What you doing there?
Leaf watcher. That's right.
Yeah.
Foliage.
Sorry.
Foliage.
We get off
foliage. No,
yeah, as you know.
Right. Attention span of a flea. It's like
exactly.
Yeah. So I went to Stowe to go to this like arts festival, and I was like, cool. And it like literally took me 3 miles, and it took me 45 minutes to go these 3 miles because there was many people like stop go traffic, and you could just like see them in their vehicles like, oh honey, just would you look at it? Would you just look at it?
Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And I'm like, and you want to talk about
leaves.
I think if we're going on Treg's terms of defensive drivers, I was the defensivest of drivers that day. Like, just effing go.
Get out of the way. What are you doing?
Just move. And
Yeah.
so they have
leaves.
So they have the highest mountain range or mountain peak or whatever you call it. I'm not a mountain gal.
Like the elevation.
Like their highest mountain is in Stowe, and that's where their like ski resort is. So everybody's all like,
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, like it's like a little mini Aspen almost. Probably not as cool, but I mean, it's still a pretty neat little town, but it's like very touristy in that regard with like with the ski resorts and stuff like that. So it was like, do you ski or snowboard? And I'm like, I can't. I don't get paid time off work. Like I can't afford to break my back.
I don't have time for that.
I don't like. I used to in high school, but like,
Nobody got time for that.
I can't afford any of that right now.
right? Like, it's Mad River Mountain is where I learned how to snowboard. Like that's like an anthill compared to the ski resort that was there. I like took one look at it and I was like,
I learned very quickly after going to Texas, after Ohio, just did the Mad River Mountain, because I say Texas, what I mean is in the wintertime we would travel up to New Mexico and or Colorado to go skiing, and I was like,
right.
Wow, big change from Mad River. We are way up here.
Huge.
Way up here.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. Like,
scary. I was like, this is why Sonny Bono died.
Exactly.
I am terrified.
I'm like, I am way too petrified to do that. Like, I'll go to maybe I'll go to Mad River for fun, like this year, like just a quick little jaunt. But
I keep trying to tell my girl, she's like, I want to try skiing. I'm like, you think it's fun until you try it, and I'm just like, I'm pooped after the little bunny hill.
Yeah,
and you go home,
or you bust your ass too many times.
I can't even get up. I can't even get myself up. I just can't do it.
I mean, I broke my ribs in high school snowboarding because I hit like a jump or something, and I hit it like way too high.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Like,
we were all crazy as youngsters,
right,
so paying the price now. So we're like, yeah, we can't do that kind of stuff.
You know what? I already have to eat like 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen a day. I don't want to make it 2,000. Like we're good, man. Like
go down in the inner tube and that's it.
Yeah, that's perfectly.
Mad River.
Yeah, I was like, y'all got tubing.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
But no, it was gorgeous. Like the leaf change there was absolutely beautiful. Like I can see why there are leafers, as annoying as they are. Right. But like just seeing them like cascading like through the mountains or over like Lake Champlain, like which was
so cool.
It was beautiful.
I'm sure.
And when it started to get wintry there and like snowing, because I got to see a little bit of snowfall, I was like, yeah, I didn't see like no 2 feet or anything, but I was like, I'm out. Like beginning of December, I was like, deuces.
That's one thing I missed while I was in Texas.
Yeah,
we got it maybe one time in 9 years, and it was just like 100 degrees every day of my life.
Right. And I mean,
sucked.
a little bit of snow like what we have in Ohio is good enough for me, but like it is consistently like 2 feet of snow there. And I'm like,
oh, really?
It was so funny because their perception of Ohio was adorable, because they're like, does it even snow there, or does it even get cold there? I'm like, it's not Florida.
Like, how far do you think Ohio is?
Like, we're not that much more south than you.
We're not on the damn equator.
You should have said, yeah, except for it's ice.
Right.
It's all ice.
It's just
that's what Texas got. Was mostly ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an icy wonderland. Like, remember like the ice storm of like 2005 or something like that? Like that, like they don't understand that concept. I'm like, no, it's just frigid and kind of miserable. Like at least like some of the snow is like kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Until there's 2 feet of it.
At least you can throw your dog in this snow. If I threw my dog out in Ohio, he'd probably die.
Right? Facts. Like, yeah. I'm like, ugh.
Well, this time last year, I remember us having some inches of snow, didn't we?
We did.
I remember half the my little chihuahuas. I had to shovel a little thing in the grass because they couldn't walk in the snow because it was just too much.
Yeah,
it was too much snow for my little doggies.
Yeah. So, well, and I remember I was starting my first travel contract, and like I stayed like in Gahanna, which is like the northeast tip of Columbus.
Yeah.
And then like Newark was like a half hour outside of that, so I was staying there, and I was like, oh God, like, and it was like kind of a back roady drive, and I'm like, thank God for 4-wheel drive because you know, thank God for Bertha.
That's got to be another issue with you traveling and stuff. This has got to be nice right now with no snow at the moment.
Super nice. Like my husband was so funny. He kept saying, so like, are you going to go to Florida? Like, are you going to go to Florida? And I'm like, you know, I would love to, but like, just like the money wasn't like really right. Like I could make just as much money in Ohio as I could Florida. And I'm like, dude, and I live in my camper on my contracts. So that's a fun fact. Like, nice. So that was a fun experience. Living in my camper, like going from like a house to 36 feet of living space.
So you haul it down there with you? Or
up there.
Did you haul it to Vermont then too?
Yep.
Cool.
My expedition can haul, so that that was kind of nice. So I stayed in that, which brought it.
You just hauled it by yourself, or did Andy go with you?
No, I mean Andy's job. He's pretty stationary here. I mean, he could obviously get an HVAC job in Vermont, but he's running jobs here in Ohio, like that are really big jobs.
Right.
So that, and he like his jobs are like a year versus where I was there for 13 weeks. Like he'd barely even get started on a job. So, you know, I mean, if there was a job that we knew that we would be at for over a year, I think we would consider like traveling together, but like we just haven't found that opportunity. And I hope we do eventually, because it is really hard being away from your husband, like especially when we've only been married for barely a year.
Right.
Like everybody would like, and it's so funny because people are so nosy, you know? I mean, like, so they'd be like, are you guys okay? Like, why are you moving to Vermont? And I'm like,
are you living in a trailer or camper by yourself?
Yeah, and I'm like,
I mean, kind of.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we're great. Like, we're good. Like, it's.
Because I can?
Yeah, because my husband supports me and loves me and trusts me. Like, I'm sorry that's such a rarity these days. Like,
shit.
I mean, and it was really, really hard, but I think one of the greatest things about it was we showed how strong our relationship was, because like there was never a day that like we were like, we can't do this, like this sucks, and like you know what I mean. Like I mean, there was hard moments. Like don't get me wrong, something broke in my camper, and I was just like, oh my God, like where's my husband? Like doesn't he fix this stuff? Like where's Mr. Fix It? Like damn it. So, but you know, I learned myself a little bit better, like because I think when we get in relationships, like we lose ourselves, which we're supposed to, right? Like we are now one, like we are one unit. Right. But it was nice to remember, like, girl, you can fix this thing. Like,
you can be a little bit more, you know, independent.
Yeah. Like, you know, like I like sometimes like we rely on each other like too much in certain situations. Like sometimes like Andy's like the one that's got dishes washed all the time, and I'm like, oh.
I guess I have to.
I guess I have to do these dishes, right? Like straight up, that was the thing. Like Andy came out to visit me.
Did you save him up for him?
I did. Like I straight up had dishes in the sink, and he was like, he looked and he just like throws his hand out, like, what is this?
Are you kidding me? Like I thought you loved doing these, so I saved your favorite thing.
I was like, I don't have a dishwasher out here. And he's just like.
That's funny.
He's like, you're such a bitch. Like,
look what I did for you. These are all yours.
Yeah, he's like, and so guess what?
Thanks for coming to see me.
Yeah, he totally left them in the sink. Totally did. It was like, take that, ha ha ha.
You guys have dinner in the camper, and he's just like, all right, left some more for you.
Yeah. So it was, but I mean, and that was a good thing too, though. Like we did make time to go see each other. Like I would have like stretches of like 5 days off or whatever, and so like we got to see some really cool places. Like that's the fun part of my job, and not the boring lung stuff, is that like I get to see some of the most beautiful places on this earth. Like wherever I want to go, like I just apply for the license and go.
You do it.
Yeah, and so. We went to Maine for our wedding anniversary, and we went to Portland, and we were going to make the jaunt up to Bar Harbor, which is like only like, I think an hour and a half north of it. But we were just kind of like, let's have some downtime in like Vermont while we still can. And we literally did like this really cool boat tour that like took us throughout the whole bay and like out to the Atlantic Ocean in Maine. Cool. And it was like, and it had like a full service bar on it. So here's me like cracking White Claws, like, oh honey, look, it's a harbor seal. And then they showed us like all the lobster traps and stuff like that. And can we just take a second and just talk about the lobster?
I was going to ask you. Lobster.
Oh my God, the lobster.
With an H on the end.
Yep. If you don't say lobster, you don't know.
Lobster. Lobster.
I do not know.
You like the butter on your lobster, do you?
This is in Vermont?
Well, this was in Maine.
Oh, Maine. Okay,
God.
okay.
A good old fashioned Maine lobster.
I bet they got some great lobster.
Did you eat some oysters?
No, oh God, no! I'm not an oyster person. I wish, like, it's the texture.
A little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of lemon.
It is the texture.
It's the texture thing. Like, I could do the lobster. Like
Adam would love lobsters or oysters. You like oysters?
I've tried them. A little bit once.
Just like a little snot, bro.
Yeah, nah. Now that I think about it, I don't think I tried it.
Oh my goodness! Right as I took a drink,
he had it on a cracker, some snot, and then some hot sauce. He's like, "Here you go, man." I'm like, definitely not.
Snot on a shell.
Not for me. Not for me.
No, I'm good.
I mean, it does look like that though. Like, oh
it does.
God, like that does not look appetizing.
And it was in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Yeah, so we were there, so I was like, "Ooh, this is the time to try it."
Yeah.
No, I'll try
it's like
anything
snot,
else.
It's like snot with a kidney bean of protein in it.
Yeah, no. I'm good. I'm good. I've seen enough of that.
You might see me, Ralph, this time.
Seen enough of that on people's faces.
You shuck it and you little squirt of
You
hot
have to
sauce.
slurp it too.
Some lemon and it's a.
Well, I've seen it that way. Or some people take it out and they gut it and they put it on that cracker and stuff. I'm not about that. Yeah, I might get like
not about that life.
My gumbo.
Yeah, and the sea salt, the ocean water has that
like
salt water.
It's salt water.
It almost adds to it a little bit.
So it would taste just
like snot, like a big boogie. This isn't a podcast today; it's a snotcast.
Oh God, I'm about to make my own rainbow.
We call it squid poop.
Oh, gross.
Squid poop.
Oh.
Like, and that's like a pet peeve for me. Like people slurping, like, or when I can hear them chewing. Like, I just do not enjoy watching
My
people
wife is the exact same way.
I applauded your death if I hear you like slurp or like can physically hear you chew. Like, and that was like one of the first things when I met my husband, when I met Andy. For those of you like that don't know my husband, he is a unicorn. I don't understand how he puts up with me and like my frigid bitchiness or just like OCD-ness. Like there was somebody like chewing like so loudly. I was just like,
did he come over and stop him before you like took their head off?
No, I bet he's thought about it. I'm sure. Like he's probably like, "Oh, good Lord, just let my wife enjoy a good dinner right now. Like, can you just please stop?" Or like,
please close your mouth.
Just it's just politeness, man.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's not hard. It's
weren't we raised chewing like a cow or anything,
right?
Like,
man, these oysters are really good over here.
Oh, Grody.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like that's just a pet peeve, like straight up pet peeve. Like
that's my wife's too.
They say it's a condition. Like they say like it's like a mental like thing.
I think it is her. I think it is a mental thing for her because I literally legit like close my mouth to eat or whatever. I do all that stuff. I really do. And literally my wife can be like in the kitchen and she's like, close your mouth. I was like, it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm like in like, so I'm like in another room. I'm like, it's like, what are you?
Let me ask you about this then. Like, since you guys have kids,
are you listening to me?
Right. Like when you're teaching kids
she's got
chew,
one of those NFL like.
I'm gonna sign up.
Like, when you're like teaching kids to chew, like they're always like they're the worst eaters, and you're just like when we're like kids growing up, like they're like, don't put your elbows on the table, and close your mouth, like like does that drive her nuts when like if the kids do it at all, or like were they pretty good about like learning that?
Our kids are pretty good at it actually. The only time like she'll get on the girls is like when they're eating chips.
Yeah,
it's like so hard for them. It's so hard for them to.
It's like.
they're in such enjoyment of chips.
Oh, take a drink already.
At that point in time.
Yeah, they like slurp.
Yeah. But everything else.
Oh, I can't even do it.
Everything else they're pretty good at. So yeah, it's really just chips with them.
Yeah, but that is a hard one.
Sometimes,
though.
like every once in a while. Like,
Hey, it's good to have someone with that habit so they can break them down.
I mean, you will.
Yeah.
I know, like one of my nephews like slurps on his pop cans, and I literally will like, and I like, I'm sure, like it's probably not my place, but I'm just like, do not slurp on your pop. Drink it like a normal human, like.
Please
like,
sip the bubbles quietly. You don't have to puff them with your lips on the way in.
Yeah.
My wife always says, "Sip your river."
Yeah.
Sip your river.
Sip your river.
I'm gonna use that if I ever
Sip
become a
your
mother.
river.
That's amazing. Sip your river.
Sip your
Oh,
river.
that's awesome. Okay.
Don't let it sit there. Sip your river.
Thank you, Chelsea. I know what to call my drink now when it starts
By the
to
way,
get
my wife
warm.
does not have an accent. I just felt like doing that accent. Like,
Oh, I'm going to hit
Sip
her
your
with it tomorrow.
river.
sip your river.
Drink's getting warm. Better sip my river.
Might need another cube.
Drink's getting warm. Better sip my river.
Oh my god, that's funny. That is too funny. I'm gonna say that the next time I see her. I'm gonna be like, "Are you gonna be sipping on your river today?"
Sipping on my river. Maybe that's what they're really saying.
Sipping on
I just had that epiphany too. Man.
right,
Like,
right.
yeah.
sipping on some river.
She's like, yeah, that's where I got it from. Isn't that what they said the whole time?
She would too. She absolutely would. She'd been like, "Yeah, I got it from the song."
Oh my god, that's hysterical.
Bless your heart.
Oh, bless
now,
your heart.
So now, not only do you do respiratory therapy, but we're gonna take a U-turn here and
Yeah.
talk about
Enough about lungs.
yeah, because you ride horses too, right? You're a big horse fanatic.
So, I mean, it's not as exciting as most people's careers in the horse industry, that's for sure. Like, I don't have like these awesome high accolades, but I mean, I've been riding since I was.
Is it more like
5.
therapeutic for you?
It was. I mean, when I was younger, I had skin cancer, so it was like really
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I know that.
I don't know either.
Yep, and I actually kind of got made fun of in school a lot for it because like it was on my ear, so like my ear had to be like reconstructed. Like you could never
Really?
tell. You would never know. Like
yeah, I didn't.
you never. It doesn't
I
look.
had no idea.
No. So thank God for good plastic surgeons. That's all I gotta say. But so like it was really, I missed a lot of 5th grade. Like I almost like failed 5th grade because like I was out so much. But
Oh, damn.
and I had rode before, like, and I had been riding before, but like I really like started getting into it, and like it was just my escape from like everything. Like nothing mattered but you
That's
and
an
a horse.
expensive hobby too, isn't it?
That's why I travel. Like there is a thing called horse poor, and I am one of those sorry saps. Like,
Said you started when you were 5, though? Wow, so
yeah.
you've been running for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 32, so I mean, it's so
I got some experience on the horsies.
I do. So I would lease horses. Like you kind of like lease a car. Like you basically like borrow a horse from somebody and you show them, you ride them. You basically like kind of take like you pay the bills for them, like all of that kind of stuff. And I like showed 4-H when I was in high school. Loved it. Donna Youngs was one of the people that got me like really, really started into it and like showing and like really finding my passion for just like showing and not just like, you know, riding down the road or something like that, you know. Excuse me. And then, so when I was 19 and I was getting ready to go off to college, obviously I was done riding and showing the 4-H like kind of circuit, and I was getting ready to go to Otterbein, and they had like an equestrian program and you could bring your own horse. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have one of those. I better get one. So I bought a great idea from a 19-year-old, right? So I bought this little thoroughbred that like we call them off the track, which means that they were a racehorse at some point in time.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's my horse. Her name's Mojo. She's actually at my house now. Actually, she was the one that we did like Treg did my wedding. He was my videographer for the wedding, which, what a shit show.
It was a good wedding.
No, it was a great wedding. It was so much fun, but holy cow. Lots of booze.
There's a lot going on that day.
There's a lot.
A lot can go wrong with a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, right. Or a lot can go right.
Or a lot can go right with a lot of alcohol.
Right. Skittles. So actually Trey got to meet my one horse when he did the videography, because we actually got like some wedding pictures done with her.
Cool.
And I've had her for 13 years now, which is like so crazy to think. So
wow.
I actually boarded her out at Ron and Tracy Cantner's house for like the last 11 years until we built a stall in our barn for her and brought her home.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of reining with them. Like I didn't show, but I rode a lot of their horses because sometimes mine, like, you know, sometimes horses get sore. Like they're on their feet. They're a 1,000-pound animal on 4 feet. Like their legs or something's bound to like be sore. She was pretty good, but like sometimes when she just wasn't really like rideable, like I would start riding theirs or just extra horse to ride in the barn. I'd ride theirs.
If you're just now joining us, we're talking about horses, not orgies.
Right. Or lungs.
Well,
sometimes I ride his and he rides mine. And
I know it does sound kind of dirty.
That does make sense though, because you see these giant animals. And I feel like I can just wrap my whole hand around like their little wrists or something. I'm like, dude,
that's all that's supporting you. Yeah, like their little feet. Yeah,
they're so fast.
Yeah. Right, for sure.
How does this happen?
Right, I know their anatomy sometimes doesn't make sense. I'm like, what the hell? All right.
Have you seen those like videos of like the abscesses on the hooves?
Oh God, yeah. My Mojo, she's actually really prone to abscesses, and like she like had one so bad, like we could
kind
not.
of satisfying to watch those though.
Dude, it straight up is. Coming from somebody that's watched
like Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, I love that show, bro.
Devil, bro. That's disgusting, bro. Are you kidding me? Who makes a show about popping pimples?
Dude,
right?
If I get on some like pimple popping stuff, bro, I'm on it. I don't know why.
My mom and my sister love that.
Here's the thing, like if my husband has like a pimple on his nose or his back, like I am popping that son of a bitch real quick. But if I watch somebody else do it, I'm like ready to heave, and I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, it's super weird.
You got to do it yourself.
Like, let me do it. Yeah, DIY.
That was probably what Dr. Pimple Popper was like. She's like, I don't like other people doing it. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna make a show about it.
And you can watch.
She's done really well.
Dude, it's super popular.
And she's hot.
I had no idea about the show.
Yeah.
For a doctor, she's gorgeous.
Like, what do you do? I pop pimples.
I pop pimples for a living.
What's her name again?
I don't know. I don't watch the show.
Sandra Oh. No, I'm kidding.
Sandra Oh.
I don't know.
Sandy.
So
interesting, yeah.
So she had an abscess, and like we could not find it. And turns out it was in a really weird spot in the hoof. So like obviously like a horse's hoof is like angled like a triangle from the front.
Right.
What was in the front of her hoof and not on like the sole of her hoof, which is where they usually are. It was a very weird spot. So the vet had to come out and like.
What do they do at that point? If it's on the front, you drill it?
Yeah. And he cut out part of her hoof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she literally looked like she had a cow hoof for like 2 or 3 years. Like, well, the grow out was about 2 years.
Like the chip in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a big old chunk out the front.
It just like was like this big little chunk in the like the front. So she looked like she had a cow hoof. So like obviously I couldn't ride her then. I was like, I mean, the grow out, like, because she was sore. Like, I mean,
that does grow back eventually. It's like a
the hoof,
fingernail type deal.
Yeah, hooves are like hooves are like fingernails. Like we always have to have a farrier trimming their feet like every 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how fast their feet grow. Just like, you know, just like getting your hair cut. Like
right.
You know, so her grow out like took a really long time. So that's when I started riding Cantner's horses, because I'm like, what do I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just write this poor thing.
Well, that's one thing I liked watching on the internet. I know they have now is like people changing and cleaning like their hooves and feet like that. That's really satisfying to watch. You see them like shave down their hooves.
Oh my god, it's so satisfying. Like you see like you see like just like this clean like hoof come off, and let me tell you,
I'm like, man, that one looks so comfortable for that horse now.
And they're
like,
so relieved. They're like, oh, thank you.
I can't imagine. I'm like, that's really interesting to watch.
It is super cool.
There's a lot that goes in that.
You guys should have like a farrier on your podcast. That'd be a good, interesting one.
Bro, for real?
Farrier?
Yeah, that's what they're called. They're not like a blacksmith. They're called farriers.
Do you know one?
I know quite a few. I have quite a few.
Have them call us.
Yeah. I will. I totally will. I'll hook you up.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So then it kind of turned into
we'll interview a fairy.
Yeah, a farrier, a fairy,
farrier,
a fairy.
sorry.
Yeah, fairies are real.
Farriers are real.
So I bought
quite a few fairies back in my day.
Right.
And we're canceled.
Canceled.
It's the Skittles.
So I bought a new horse.
Talking about boats, guys.
Boats, fairies and boats.
Yeah, boats and
Boats and hoes. Oh, canceled again.
Shit.
Damn it. So I bought a new horse 2 years ago.
You give him all the easy ones.
Heap anonymous.
Yes. Yeah.
So I bought a new horse 3 years ago. Because mine's getting older. Mojo's like 23.
Yeah.
So she's getting to be an old lady.
How long do horses live for?
I mean, it's just like, it's like anything. And the better you take care of them, the longer they live. Or like if, God forbid, something happens to them. But they can live into their early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s sometimes.
I guess I just never knew the life expectancy.
How old is Mojo now?
She just turned 23.
Okay.
So
nice. What a beast, dude.
Yeah.
I know. I just don't know.
She's just living her happy little life. Like,
Nice. Is it
with
true?
the fainting goats at the house.
Is it true that it's true they do have those?
We do have fainting goats at our house. We do.
I had a blast with my buddies on that.
Come on over.
So is it true that horses can get they get frightened by lightning to where it can kill them?
I don't think I've ever. I'm sure they could. Like if there was lightning,
I've heard about it
in the
dogs,
pasture.
But I didn't know if that's with horses too.
I mean, like it
Because I've
depends.
heard about larger dogs. I think.
I guess, are you talking about like the sound of thunder, like scaring them so much that like they like
Have a
flip
heart
over, or like have? I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it's true. Like I mean, animals and especially horses have like a weird way of desensitizing themselves. I'm sure if it's like a really bad storm, like I'm sure they could get anxious. They could roll over in their stall. They could rear up. Something could happen and get their foot caught in a stall. But like I don't know. We've had like our property especially is very windy because it's very open, as you've seen.
Yeah.
Like we have like nothing but cornfields
She
around
get
us.
scared out there then, or no?
No, she's just chilling. Like, and our,
Good.
like, I mean, some of our barn tin, like, kind of flaps and makes some sounds. Like, horses are smart animals. They get desensitized. Like, it might spook them once, but I'm sure if there's, like, a really anxious horse, like, I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean-
it's not a common thing.
I mean,
Anything of it?
I've never had one of our horses or in any of the barns that I've been in, like, hurt themselves because of a thunderstorm because they got so scared. Like,
Okay.
they're smart animals. Like, they learn that, okay, it might spook them once and, like, make them jump, and then they say, okay, nothing hurt me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay. Like, you know, it's just kind of like just like human anxiety. Like, okay, wasn't that bad? Okay, I didn't. But did you die? Nope. Like literally, I think that's like because you have to
Right.
realize that they're fight or flight animals. So like they're like in fight or flight, they're absolutely 100% flight. Like they have nothing to defend themselves minus their hooves, or a good kick. If they can't kick it, they're gonna run from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
So
I've seen a lot of horse kicking videos too. That does not look fun.
I've been kicked by a horse before, by Mojo actually,
Oh, no.
and I still have like she kicked me in my hip, and I have like this divot in my hip where she like it's like and it's like
God.
oh my God, it's awful.
So actually, and I should introduce you. My cousin actually he does horse like skill competitions. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. I mean, I don't talk to him very much, but I know he sends me, or he's always on TikTok. He always has these videos of him doing this stuff.
I need to download TikTok and just watch him then.
He does. Is there something with barrels?
Yeah, there's barrel racers. Like they go around like.
That's what he does.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's the rodeo, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Which that's cool. Like, I mean, barrel racing's it's an intense freaking sport. Like, it is a sport.
It looks like
Really?
it.
I'm like the older I've got, I started off barrel racing like when I was a wee young lass, you know, like, and the older I've gotten, I'm like, I watch these people just going balls to the walls on this horse, and I'm like,
Yeah, he looks
I'm
like-
good. Like,
yeah, he
I
looks
just
like
let's just take a leisurely jaunt here. Like,
Let's have a trot.
Yeah,
Let's have a trot.
he looks like he's flying on that thing,
they are like they'll go through these freaking like really
like
good ones. Will be
drifts.
like,
dude.
yeah, it's like Tokyo Drifts, but with horses. My God, like there's if you follow.
I don't know how some of them wear cowboy hats, to be honest with you, because that thing would be. I mean,
I think there's a string under them or something.
okay.
There's got to be. I mean, there has to be because I like my cowboy hat like flies off in the middle of a show
they write
pen,
Andy.
and we're
They write
literally
Andy
just
on
kind
the bottom
of.
of their shoes.
They do. I do. So I know. So everybody knows who I belong to.
Wait, what do
It's
you
actually
do?
under this boot right here. No, just kidding.
She wrote Andy on her shoe, on her boot.
But no,
There's
like
a snake in my boot.
there's. But I mean, like my hat's fallen off, like, and I'm just like leisurely, just kind of trotting along, just doing my thing, like.
nuts.
Let alone somebody that's just going like. It looks like 60 miles an hour. It's not that fast, but my God. If you follow Fallon Taylor, she's like a YouTuber and she's like a world famous barrel racer. Like she goes into like the like how much like barrel racing, like how much it really takes to do it, and like in her like rodeo journey and all of this, and like her horse was like one of the world champions or something like that, and like literally like, I think did a barrel pattern in like 13 seconds or something. I'm like,
gosh.
maybe not that sure, I don't know, don't quote me. I'm not a barrel racer. Like that is not my avenue. I'm
still pretty intense on a giant beast. Going
that could kill you in a heartbeat. Yes. Like, I mean, one wrong step and those things can kill you.
Roll over and land on you and you're gone.
Yeah. Sure. Which, I mean, that's such a respect for the animal too. Like,
absolutely.
Anytime I get off my horse, like, I thank them for the ride. Like, I'll give them a good, no matter how bad it was.
Thank you for not killing me.
Pretty much. Like, thank you for the ride and thank you for deciding not to kill me today because you easily could. Like, my show horse that I have now, we go by hands, like, height wise, because it would be like up to like their tallest point of the shoulder, which is called the wither. Mm-hmm. He's 17.1 hands high, which means like basically I'm going to break this down for you. He's 5'8" at the shoulder and I'm 5'8". So he's like literally just as tall as I am at the shoulder and at the butt. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty big.
He's a big boy.
He's huge. I look like a flipping peanut on top of him. And I'm like, I'm literally like, I'm not a small girl by any means. Like, not saying I'm like fat or anything, but like,
just a big horse.
He's a big boy.
The biggest I ever ridden, it was one of my dad's friend's farm. And long story short, I got to ride a Clydesdale bareback. And that was like
they're like 18 hands.
Dude.
They're huge.
The ones that carry the Budweiser.
Yeah, and they're broad too.
Huge.
My, not grandpa,
I rode a pony once.
I rode a pony once.
We had to bury it.
You might have just buried it in the ground yourself.
God.
Well, it was when I got on top of it. That's when I buried it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just the feet just like sunk into the ground. And
I'll let you ride a damn pony, bro. You should have been riding the Clydesdale.
No shit. Like, if you ever go to like Marmon Valley, like they're gonna put him on the draft horse. Like.
Yeah. All right, let me get on up here.
This is Duke.
This is Duke.
Starts bucking you.
I'm not even budging. I'm just like, what are you doing down there?
So, funny story.
The belly just sagging on the dragon. This a wiener dog?
It is now. So, funny story. My husband and I went to Gatlinburg for our honeymoon, and he was like, "Well, why don't we go like on like one of the mountain like trail rides or whatever with horses?" And I'm like, "Cool, whatever, that's fine."
Okay.
So Andy, he handles the horses very well. Like, if I tell him to like go do something, like he's got this. Like, because he's just got one of those very calm personalities that like there's no animal on the face of this earth that doesn't like him.
Nice.
And so if I like tell him like, "Oh, can you go grab Mojo or can you go do this?" He's like, "I got it." Like, if she gets a little bucky or sprucey, he's like, "Whatever, settle down." So we go to this like trail riding place, and they're like, "Do you have like?" They ask you your experience level with horses, and I sometimes tread lightly with that. I don't want them to put me on like the dopiest of horses, but I don't want them to put me on the freshest of horses. That's like that needs trained up. And I was so finally they're like, "Well, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I've rode reiners. I show quarter horses. Like, you know, I've been around the block for a while. Like, I know what I'm doing." And he's like,
"Call me Jenny."
Jenny from the block. So they bring out this horse, and so they assume because this is my husband, they're like, "Oh, so we've got like one that's a little younger that just likes to stop randomly in the trail. Like, would you mind just riding him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue." Well, I'm forgetting we're in the freaking Smoky Mountains here, for one, and not to mention they automatically assume. They looked at Andy and they go, "You good with horses too?" And he's just like, "Yeah, pretty good," like not thinking about it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this one just likes to ride up on the other horse's asses. Like, are you good with just like telling him to whoa?" And I'm like, Andy doesn't ride. Like, I mean, he can ride, and but it's not like we just like get on our horses and like go ride together.
Right,
like, yeah. Right. And sure we would. Like, he wants to do that eventually. So I'm sure I'll find him a husband horse one of these days. That's what we call him. Like, something that's just like old dopey that can just like, you know, doesn't give a shit and just whatever.
Easy going.
You can throw anything up one. So anyway, so I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh Jesus. I'm like, Andy, are you okay with that? And he goes, "We're about to find out." And I'm like,
oh no.
Oh my God. So then we're getting up there and this like, we're riding along, and really they were great. Like, they weren't that bad. Well, Andy's like calming chi or zen or whatever the hell he's got going on. Like, this horse was just like an angel for him. They're like, "We've never seen him act this good." And I'm like, thank God. So, but my horse on the other hand, like kind of like got a little spooked on the trail, and I'm afraid of heights. And
you thought you were going to ride off the cliff.
Oh my God. Like, I looked down, which don't look down. Don't ever look down. And like, this mountain is just like straight down. And I'm like,
so when I went to Gatlinburg, we instead of horses, we did like 4-wheelers and stuff.
Yeah.
We got to go on the edge of the trail.
You go on the trail.
And you stop and you look down and you're like,
it's like those
we're riding on the side of this the whole time?
Yeah. And literally, it's like those memes you see on Facebook where there's like this car up in like the Brazilian mountains and it's like 2 inches wide. I'm like,
yeah, that's what it is.
I'm like, I didn't know this was going to be a thrill ride today. And I'm like, looking at this horse, I'm like, you better not act up now. Like, and this thing like kind of like
the wrong time.
This thing and they can feel your emotions. So I'm like just trying to enjoy my life. Like I didn't just see that. Just keep on going, sis. You know, And this horse like kind of spooked at something stupid, like a leaf fell or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of monsters to horses. Like a paper bag could go flying. That's the infamous like monster. So she like kind of spooks and like she starts sidestepping. She's like getting closer to like the edge, and I'm just like, oh god, this is how I die. This is how I die. And she just stops, and I was like everything just in my mind stopped for a second. I'm like, am I dead? Am I dead? I'm alive. I'm alive. And I was like, go bitch. Like just I like start kicking her. I'm like, forward now, get me out of here. Like and
I'm not about to tuck and roll. We get the hell out of here.
And the trail guide was nice enough because he knew that we had like horses. He was very nice in saying, hey, if she starts acting too bad, like you did pay to enjoy yourself, like I'll switch you guys horses or something like that and put you on this one that'll be like nice. And he looked, he's like, you good? I'm like, we fine, man. We grooving now. Like just keep on moving. Keep her going. Keep her moving.
Let's not stop as we sidestep. Let's move forward.
Right. And Andy's sitting, meanwhile, Andy's sitting back there like, man, wouldn't you just like to stop the show life and just, we could just, take the trailer and go somewhere and just go trail riding. I'm like, he's like, drinking beer, enjoying life. I'm like, yeah, nah, man, not if we're going to be on a cliff. I'm not a cliffhanger here. Like, no.
Not going good on your end. He's just like, let's just stop and get away.
We just do this forever.
Yeah, like Andy's like having the time of his life. And I'm just like, nope, take me back to my arena. Take me back to where there's 4 walls and 4 fences. Like, I'm good.
That's so funny.
So this summer, I actually got a really cool experience, though. Like, I just started showing AQHA, and they call it like your amateur card or whatever. So I eventually got my, like, which means like your show, like you have a full-time job and you like, you're an amateur at this. Like, you're a novice, you're a beginner or whatever.
Yeah.
So I finally got to go to one of my first, like, I always showed open shows like around in Ohio. And it's basically like showing at a quarter horse show because there's like the biggest names in Ohio because the Quarter Horse Congress is here, which is like a huge horse show that lasts like over a month long. It's the largest.
Wow.
It's the largest all breed show in the world, I do believe.
And this is in Ohio.
It's in Columbus. It's the month of It's the whole month of October.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I showed at a regional show, which was called the Region 6, and it was out in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And like we actually got the experience, like go there, show, meet new people, and like actually go show. Like my horse was some of like the best in the business, and we did okay. It was like our first show together. I mean, we actually placed underneath one of the judges, and it was so fun. But like we actually like got to experience the whole like, oh, let's get on a golf cart and go drink beer for a couple hours and see what we could get into. Like, you know what I mean?
That's gotta be fun though, because how many like times did you have to show your horse, and the whole time you were there?
So there was
is you there like multiple days?
There was multiple days. It was a week long, and I showed 4 of the 7 days that was there. Like so
the rest of the time you're just cruising around, chilling, meeting new people, checking
like,
out horses,
barbecuing. There was this whole.
Awesome.
It was so fun. Like we did this one thing that was called the aisle hop, and everybody had their own theme for an aisle. Well, the barn that I was with, my trainer, Cassie Dean, she's amazing. We did the circus was our theme, and I was like, perfect. So we had so much fun. I hope we won best aisle because quite frankly, like ours was the most over the top. We had Charlotte the Wonder Pony, which is like one of their like lesson horses, and we like dyed her mane and tail with like all these like with like animal safe like dyes that like with all these like circus colors in it. I made her a tutu out of like tulle and stuff like that. And we did like a duck pond outside, and then I did like a drunk pond. So like how you guys like have all these like fun drinks, like I did like vodka soaked gummy bears, which were very, very popular. I went out of those like instantly. And then they were really good. I should have brought them. Like I missed next time.
Yes.
Next time. We did
love alcohol here.
Whipped cream. Love it.
Yes.
Skittles.
Yes. I can Skittles.
Been drinking
Skittles.
Skittles all day.
I did whipped cream vodka and strawberries. Like I soaked whipped cream like strawberries and whipped cream vodka, and then I did raspberries as well.
That sounds good.
Oh my god,
We did have a lot of experience with whipped cream vodka back in the day.
Yes,
I mean, we did. Yes.
Oh man.
You were 99 bananas. That's what I think of.
That was my
He
drink.
was.
He was a night. Yes.
was
Do you
my
remember
drink.
we did Halloween one year, and I feel like he's like, you had your old Danger Ranger The teal Danger Ranger.
Yeah, the green one. Yes.
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 I did have the old Danger Ranger.
You did. And I had a Danger Ranger too.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I had a black Danger Ranger. And
that's right. You were the black ranger. He was the green ranger.
Yes, he was.
I was a teal.
Oh, teal ranger. I'm sorry.
He was his own color ranger. And I remember
I was ahead of my time.
Dino Force.
He literally like pulls out. He's like, he picks me up and he's like, "Yo, Tabby, you like bananas?" And I was like, "Kinda, yeah." Like, what, like, okay. And he goes, "I got a whole bottle of 99 bananas." Like,
yeah, the first thing you're like,
"You like bananas?" I got
Excuse me?
99 of them bitches.
yeah. If you didn't know, we did say in the beginning. We went to high school together.
yeah, we
She
should have
was
said that.
A grade
Younger.
one grade under us?
Yeah, you guys were 07. I was 08. Oh.
Good times. Good times.
So, but it was so fun to like market with these people, and like my booze like kicked it off. They were like, "Oh my god!" And I did like something else too. I can't remember what they were. Andy would probably be able to tell me, but I remember he flew in to Massachusetts because I had already been out there writing and preparing for the show and stuff. So he flew out there, and he's like sees the hotel room, and it's like a mad scientist like lab. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like,
"What's going on in this place?"
And he's like, "Why is there so much liquor?" And I'm like,
showing horses.
I'm like, "Well, I'm not on a bender, I promise you." So we got vodka soaked gummy bears, and he's like, okay, like, you know, I'm like, "I'll explain later." I was like, "Oh, by the way, here's a mime outfit. Put this on." And I was, which anybody that knows,
circus,
because we were all dressed up. I was dressed up as a
Give him
clown.
like a mime outfit. Be like, "Hey, pretend you're lost in this room for 12 hours. See you tomorrow." Bye.
Right.
Get out.
I don't know.
And for anybody that knows my husband, it was kind of fitting because he's so quiet, and I could talk for like days, and it was like, it's fine. So I dressed up as a clown, which I'm like petrified of, but I was like kind of a cute one. I had like this little rainbow like bright wig on or something, and this tutu, and everybody was like, it was so fun because like I got to market and like meet so many people, and like how big for how big the industry is, it's really small. Like I met a bunch of people from Ohio, I met people from like everywhere, and they're like,
awesome.
And so then it was like I kind of got known as the gummy bear girl. Like they're like, "Hey, gummy bears." I'm like,
Nice. Yes, that's
You
me.
back next year?
all right, we're looking for it. Like,
That's me. Did you wake up this morning? You're welcome.
you're welcome. Yeah, and like people would come back, and like it got to the point nobody even did the pond, because like the whole premise was like you're supposed to pick up a duck, and like
Right.
whatever number it was, like that's the like you got the strawberries or the gummy bears
They're
or
just
whatever.
like, "Ooh, liquor."
They're like, "Ooh, gummy bears, give me some of them." Like, it was so funny. I'm like, well, you know, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
but just like making those experiences with people and like
Oh,
kind of creating like
absolutely.
your own life. Like I went there only knowing my trainers and everybody else, and I walk back or I come home with like 20 new Facebook friends, and it was
Right.
such
Yeah,
a cool way to like,
networking, absolutely.
totally networking and like telling them what I do or telling them like the other like in each other. Like everybody always needs a friend in that industry. Like if there's ever another horse that I need, like it's a small world, or like if I
Right,
need like
right.
to find a good vet or something in the world, like
It's a solid community to be in that
oh god, yeah.
area.
As stuck up
that niche.
yeah, as stuck up and like kind of like hoity-toity as it can be, like it like when you add booze, like all bets are off. Like
Everyone's having a good time.
right.
Booze helps
Everyone's
everyone.
welcome.
More yeah, somebody did like a crab boil. Yeah, somebody did a crab boil. Somebody had gumbo. I was like, oh,
Oh, I'm there.
all the foods like more of the
said-
story. Come to a horse show and we'll feed you.
Somebody had a bucket of oysters.
Oh, that's it. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you for being a friend. Travel around the world back again. R.I.P. Betty White.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
everybody's grandma.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it said everyone's grandma and everyone's father passed away.
Yeah, we lost
with,
Bob Saget.
Damn, man.
Dude. We'll talk about that here shortly. Too.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the...
Yeah, we got
It's in the news.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, along with horsing, not to cut you off or anything
No.
like that, but you also make jewelry, right?
I do. So I started.
You got quite a bit going on.
I do all the things. So if you look at my Facebook,
I do. You know things? Have you heard of things?
things I do them all.
do them all.
It's fine. Well, if you've ever looked at like my description on Facebook, it's like it's something so stupid because it's like I do everything. Like
it should just say just all the above.
yeah, jewelry
Choice
making.
D, all the above.
All the above. It should say that. Jewelry making, karaoke singing, beer drinking, jack of all trades, master of the lungs. I'm like, oh, that's fair.
You should add to it quarterback for the Browns.
Right? I probably would do better than Baker. Oh, the Browns.
They are.
Sorry, Adam.
No, we're a table of Brown. Well, you're a Bengals fan.
I am a Bengals fan.
Table of Ohio. The only thing I have against the Browns is
the Browns fan second.
Them keeping Baker in after he's hurt so much.
No kidding. Like I don't understand
the dude
that.
Is hurt. You're not like, doing good because he's hurt.
You're not getting the best out of your team when somebody's hurt. Like
I have an idea. Let's put him in while he's double hurt.
Right.
We should win.
Let's see what happens when. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Don't we have a backup to a backup?
Right, like,
should we put those guys in?
I think he should have ran with that backup of a backup
because
over
he was killing it. He was killing
Nick Mullins
it.
is solid, man.
You know,
I told you Nick Mullins was solid before the game. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he went out there and killed it.
Yep.
Why did Case Keenum start last week?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Sense.
I don't know.
I mean, honest. Like,
Come on, Kevin. Kevin.
Get the Catherine O'Hara Kevin in there.
Thank you.
So we drifted off there a little
I know.
bit.
We'll get back to the Browns, I'm sure.
But you do make your own jewelry though.
I do.
So what all do you do? What all do you make?
So I mean, I make a lot of things. But I wire wrap. That's my specialty. I wire wrap gemstone jewelry. So basically, the premise of that is you basically you have a spool of wire and you kind of have some beads or some stones and you have a thought in your head and you just build it. Like
it is called wire wrap.
It is called wire wrapping. Yeah, wire wrap jewelry.
So you should, instead of jewelry maker, you should call yourself a jewelry architect.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I like that.
I like it.
Different way to market yourself.
I like that. Set me out from like everybody else.
Jewelry architect.
Ooh, I like that.
That is snazzy.
Well, I would say that like my little slogan was like artistry and imagination because like that's literally what it takes to build what I do. I had a really good conversation with my cousin at Christmas who is an artist, and we were talking about the premise of like what it takes to be a creative person and like when you see like when you make a piece, like what do you see? Do you sketch it out or do you see it in your head?
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that like this, like I have one of mine on, or now it's off because it's kind of heavy.
So
not gonna
wire.
lie. So like I look at a stone like this one, and it's called a donut because
So you made that?
I made this. Yeah,
that
this
legit looks like something that I would find at the bottom of the Titanic.
Well,
like you know
it might be.
Yeah, like the jewel.
I mean that in a good way though. Like like it looks like
looks really nice.
Very beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean it looks like, but it has like I don't know. It gives off like that tradition feel.
And like an antique kind of vibe. But yeah. Well,
really nice.
I mean, it's wrapped in antique copper, so like, which is just the color of the copper. So like, it kind of has
I
that.
guess
like,
the way you wrapped it and designed it just looks super fancy.
Thank you. That's kind of was. I mean, so and
that's the idea.
That was kind of the idea. Well, and it's kind of funny because like this piece in particular, and for those that can't see it, it's a necklace. So. It literally like I started as just this stone and I just had a spool of wire and I just kind of had this vibe. I was like, man, these two colors just look really pretty together. And I just like kind of started with this piece here and then which is called the bail, which like secures the piece. Like, so that way it doesn't fall apart. Yeah, absolutely.
So to our listeners that can't really see this right now. So this is basically, it's like a circular stone.
It looks like a donut. It's called a donut.
Yeah, like a mini
with like
donut.
a hole in the middle, and there's you said this is antique copper,
and
it looks like it is very intricately woven
because it is
around this entire this entire stone. But it's not just. I mean, it's when I say intricate, I mean there's a lot of detail that was put into this. Obviously,
it's way more. So again, I've been friends with her forever, and Snapchat and everything comes around, and people thankfully keep the same number. They pop up and you get to see, oh, cool, they're doing it their life. And I got to see it kind of like from beginning to end. It looks way more detailed in real life than an actual like.
The pictures just do not do it justice.
So do you sell these?
Crazy
Do you sell this
detail.
stuff anywhere right now? Besides like like on your own?
I just right now because I'm just trying to get. I used to, yes. Short answer, yes. So when I first started, I actually ran it as a full-time business. So it actually paid for my respiratory school. Like,
oh, cool, nice.
So I started just like doing like cheap, chunky necklaces. Like you can get a strand from Hobby Lobby or something like that. Because fun fact, I had surgery on my hand, and like my hand was like kind of like pinched together, like my thumb and my forefinger. And so I was like, oh, well, I can string some beads. So I learned like kind of like I learned it all by sight. Like I literally learned how to string and like the mechanics of just like your finishings and your findings, like down like where the clasp is or whatever, like things that I can't. Well, I can make them, and I do usually, but like this part, the necklace part, like I learned how to do that by sight. So
okay.
Actually I learned how to wire wrap by sight too, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I started that, and like I was like, hey, it's for sale if somebody wants it. Like, I don't need all this jewelry. So it just kind of started snowballing. Well, then I never wanted to just like do like necklaces. Like,
how long does something like that take?
A long time.
I mean, that looks the way that copper wire, that antique copper, like, do you call it wire? Is it wire?
Yeah, it's wire.
Widery.
The way that is like woven though around that. I mean, that looks like that took forever.
So this piece in particular took me. I actually worked on it at work when I was on the ICU, like in between my rounds. I was just like you can only scroll through Facebook so much or something. And I'm not saying that we're not busy, but it was just kind of one of those like.
You got to have something to fidget with.
Yeah, like in your downtime. So I started working on it in the downtime, but I kind of usually set like a timer, like a stopwatch for like my time. And I have 36 hours in just the pendant.
Wow.
So, I mean,
It's a lot of time.
It is. I mean, because and there's also playing with it, and there's mess ups, and like, oh man, I'm not getting this weave right or like set correctly. And then there's like the finishings of it, like all these little coils at the top. You probably should just drop a picture of it in the comments. So people
well, that's what we're going to do. I was going to say, give a picture of it because we're going to show our viewers.
Yep.
That is so crazy looking.
Yeah, we'll put up a picture here for you guys to see it because you guys can't probably see it from there. But the other thing is like what is something? So what is something like this? You got 36 hours into it. What does something like this cost?
So for this piece in particular, I have to look at. The top part of it, the necklace, I have a lot of gemstones in it. So because like I said, I specialize in gemstones. Like these are called Edison pearls. The brown stones are called smoky quartz, and they're high grade. They're very highly faceted, which means the cuts on the stone. So with all of this and all my time, this piece in particular is a very expensive one. I have cheaper pieces, but this one, considering how much I value my time, is $350. And I mean, that's just because 36 hours into it, that's my time. I mean, it's a lot of time. Like, I'm not doing this for free.
I would say that's probably worth more than that.
Probably. I price myself very cheaply.
Yeah.
It really is.
I would,
Dude,
if I were you,
nuts.
If I were you, I would put this on eBay and I would call it an antique handmade necklace. And then I would market it like to antique dealers.
Right.
And then you should put a price tag on this of no less than probably $4,000 to $5,000.
I wouldn't put it at $4,000 to $5,000. I mean,
I'm dead serious.
I was going to say probably about 500 or more.
I would go probably 500.
Seeing that,
I would say
really
you
cool.
Would, you would be. I'm dead serious though. You would be absolutely surprised
at the people
who looks for certain items
like that. Yeah.
Like that.
Well, and it's
Especially
funny because
people,
right,
too,
and people value quality with the price too.
Exactly.
So like, and when I first started, like my prices were so dirt cheap. Like, I mean, so dirt cheap. And I was, I mean, I made money off of it somehow because I was like just a madhouse pumping stuff out.
Yeah.
And I did it while I was in respiratory school, like full time.
Here's the thing, though. What a lot of people don't understand, though, and I'm not saying you don't understand this, but what I am saying, though, is about the marketing of things like this. Is that what a lot of people don't get about like stuff like that is you're trying to just get into business of selling, right? You want to make money.
Yeah.
Sometimes instead of thinking that way, think the other way. Think about what it is worth to you.
Absolutely, yes.
And then just put that out there and then wait for your brand to grow.
Absolutely.
You just got to have the patience for it. A lot of people.
Oh, you do.
I mean, a lot of,
everybody wants to be a quick millionaire, and like that's just not how it works. So that's why I was kind of going to get into is that like
let it set and resonate. Let people try to bid on it for like $3,000 and say can't let it go for that much.
Sorry.
Seriously though.
Yeah, I mean, and truthfully, and so for me, like when I first did it, like I just have gotten like I quit for a while. Like I was just like, yep, hanging up the towel, like we're done, because I did it for a reason. Like I did it as a job to pay for my respiratory school, and then I got my career, and obviously that flourished and took off. Like there's only so many hours in a day. I work 12-hour night shifts. I'm a wife, horse rider. Like I said, I jack of all trades here. Like and I could not give my customers what they wanted because a lot of my customers were repeat customers, and I did a lot of custom pieces. Like I did a lot of weddings, like things that were meant to be, they were custom made, one of a kind, and that's kind of what I specialized in. And I loved that. Don't get me wrong, but it was really hard to do weddings and then be like, oh, I got to work my big girl job. And like, how do you say I went to college for this, but this is growing and flourishing, but like I can't try out, like I feel like I would have been a huge disappointment to my parents and everybody around me that supported me through college for a specific degree. It's not like I went to college for business. Like I went to college to be a respiratory therapist.
Right.
So,
here's just a tidbit from someone who has broke the mold.
Right.
Do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to be, you and your husband will be the only ones by your side.
Right.
Towards the end.
Absolutely. And so as I kind of got into my career, like the downside of it is it wasn't satisfying me anymore. And that's why I got into traveling and I DVOC hit. Yeah. And, I was exhausted and I just felt so depleted and just working so hard for what, I mean, it's great. I love saving lives and I love watching babies be born and I love watching, what I mean? And I love being there for families in their time of need and even the sad moments. But there are days that I come home and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, because you're just so exhausted and so, I mean, you have a rough day when I have,
and that can be life in general sometimes.
Right. So then I look at like my jewelry and I look back on my posts of like stuff that I made and I'm like, good God, like, why did you just throw this away? Like, so when I was in Vermont, I made kind of a promise to myself.
Quick question.
That is awesome.
So would you just not to cut you off real quick, but would you send me some pictures of stuff and let me kind of market that for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Because I suck at it. Like, to be honest, that's my downfall.
I think
that's what we do.
It's stuff like that you don't want to take to like trade shows or anything?
No, because nobody understands it. Like they want like their $2 like scrunchie or like, you know what I mean? Like when I did trade shows, it was like I had to like meet the market there with like cheap $25 pieces or under. Right. And like you're not making money off that. Like, you know what I mean? And it's saturated. Everybody makes jewelry, but not everybody wire wraps. Not everybody like what sets you apart. And mine is high-end gemstone pieces. But the problem is sometimes
that's
finding the right.
It's a niche market.
There's a lot of time and effort into that, and you should be paid for it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Some people have asked me like if I was at like the Legion or the Ambets, so like I was wearing it, and people will compliment me. They're like, "How much would you sell it for?" And I'll tell them, they're like, "Oh, you're out of your mind." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you also didn't have 36 hours into that." And I
wouldn't even see how you present it. Is how you're going to be able to market this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wouldn't if someone is like, "Oh, you'll never get that for it." I wouldn't even say anything back. I'd be like, "Then you have no idea."
Yeah, and I was like, and it was a close friend of mine, and I was just like, and we're just bullshitting at the bar having a beer, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool that you wouldn't pay that, but somebody will, and people have like
it's
some of my wedding
taste for some people.
Absolutely, some of my wedding pieces have gone for a lot of money.
You see stuff similar to this type of style, and when I say that, I'm not trying to degrade your stuff. What I mean by that is, though, you guys ever been to those stores with your mom and dad, like as a kid or whatever? You walk by like all that like $2, $7 jewelry, and you're like,
everybody like,
who the hell buys this stuff?
Right. Yeah, and everybody does because it's like. If it breaks,
but that's not like this.
No,
that is.
And other people wire wrap, and there's basically like a groundwork and a foundation. Like there's other people that have done this weave. There's other people that have like done these coils or this and that. But how you put it together?
Yeah. How much do those people sell their stuff for?
I kind of have this one right around where like I've seen people like the pendant only, like people would charge like $150 for that, and I'm like,
there's no way.
It's a lot of hours into that.
Right.
I think you can change the game.
And I hope to. Like I when I went to Vermont,
you can change the game.
Yeah.
When I went to Vermont, I kind of made a vow to myself. Like I took all my beads with me, which like if I'm gonna send a Snapchat to you guys later of like the mass that is all of my gemstones.
Who's the I gotta find this real quick. Keep talking. Go ahead.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to have some downtime, and like, you don't just make friends right away. Like, why don't you get back into making jewelry? Because that is a talent that like I've wasted the last 3 years. Like, not everybody can do that. And it's a shame to my clients. It's a shame to myself, to like my own creativity and my own soul, to not just make something here and there. And like, whether I make a business out of it again, I don't know. Or like whether I open it up to custom orders again, I don't know yet. But at least like, don't let it go to waste. Right. So
yeah.
So like I said, I worked on this piece at work, like the pendant, and then when I came home, I like strung the necklace, and I was like, damn girl, like you got to get back into this at some point in time.
Yourself
like,
again.
Right. And like this one I like wove while I was watching Yellowstone and my dog was sitting on my lap and I'm like, okay, well that's fun.
What's it called when they do it on like Facebook or something where it's like a live show where some girl is like showing all of her jewelry and you can what's it called?
Like sell it like a Facebook Live, like
yeah, it's like a Facebook Live because my girl has a few friends in Texas that used to do that where she'd have like get a bunch of jewelry. Now it probably wasn't custom made, but it's probably
they'll do like the paparazzi jewelry lives.
Yeah. Like, okay, this is this, and they'll be like, the comment on it or talk about it.
Comment sold, yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now, Lori Griner, right now. If you're watching this, because I'm gonna tag you in this video, Lori Griner. How can they get a hold of you, Tabby?
You can actually. I have a Facebook page and an Instagram. It's called Twisted Tea Designs, like T as in like the letter.
What about an email?
I have an email, twistedtdesigns@gmail.com. And once again, it's just like twisted, the letter T, designs. Or I have a personal email too that they can use, but that one works too.
Gotcha. Lori Griner, if you're watching this, get a hold of Tabby. I know you can help her out.
Yeah, for sure.
The queen of QVC, the Shark Tank girl.
Oh.
Get on it, Lori.
Okay.
You know
that got big real quick.
You know what to do. You know what to
do. Okay, that's fair.
Queen of QVC.
Queen of QVC. I love that.
Hell
so, yeah, I mean, it turned into like a fun side hustle and turned business, then literally just gave it up, which sounds so pitiful. Like when I say that out loud, I'm like, oh, disappointment. Yeah. And I just started doing it again. I actually named this piece the Catamount because University of Vermont's mascot is the catamount, which fun fact is just a mountain lion, and I didn't know that. I was like, what is a catamount? And they're like,
right on.
It's a mountain lion spelled backwards, but we pronounce it catamante.
Catamount. It's actually
what?
It's actually catamount. It's not Charlotte. It's Charlotte. Catamount. Catamount.
Oh my God.
Catamante in the mountains of Calamantes.
I'm like, why don't you just say mountain lion? Oh, I forgot. You guys are bougie and French, like French Canadian. My bad. Love my Vermonters.
What is this mountain lion that you speak of?
Vermonters are the most polite, like utilitarian and cool people ever, but like, my God.
That's funny.
Like, yeah. So I named it the Catamount because their colors are green and brown, and I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Maybe I said a little bit too much. Maybe I didn't though. But I would value this between $1,800 to $3,000.
That's a big number. Like I would probably be obviously I'm a lot lower than that. But
I would say between $1,800 even 30. I would go as much as $3,200.
Okay.
$1,800 to $3,200.
Well, you know,
worth, man.
And I even did price this. Like I do have stuff that's more reasonably priced, but I did price this in my like what I call like my luxury line, like stuff that not everybody's going to buy, and I know that. Mm-hmm. But it's like a nice showcase piece. Like, look what she can do. Like, can you do something a little bit more simple? Like I did like, I don't know if anybody saw on Facebook, I did like these little wire wrapped witches brooms for, for Halloween. And everybody like, I made like 4 or 5 of them. And like, they were just super quick, simple things that like, oh, here you go. Like, you know, like those are like easier for me. Not saying that they're like any less like intricate, but like super easy for me to whip out in like an hour. Versus like 36 hours. Like you have to have those things in a business.
36 hours
like,
just on the pendant.
Well, just on the pendant, yeah.
And what about in total?
I think it took me about 5 hours to design and figure out like the placement of each bead and how I wanted it and what beads I wanted to use. Trust me, my camper, when you like literally like go, like I used to have like a studio in my house and I went to like having like a camper. Like I have like my couch pulled out and like all these like, you know, like fishing tackle boxes, like the like with the 36 slots. I had like 20 of these things laid out. Like, do I want this bead with it? No. Do I want that bead? No. Oh, I think I'm working with something here. Like, oh, I like this. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh God. And my dog's just looking at me like, because she was my only like, I took one of my dogs. She's like, where's my spot on the couch, Mom? Like, as I'm like stringing this thing up like a little mad scientist, and then like finally it was done, and I was like, okay, like I'm here for it.
That's cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have to.
We're going to talk more about that after the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have a discussion. I love it.
All right, so you've seen the show a little bit, Tabby.
Oh yeah.
So you ready
all the way to Vermont?
You ready for your rapid fire questions?
We'll see. I've had some Skittles.
How many warheads can you put in?
I'm gonna go with 1. I'm a wimp.
All right, go on. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go over there. Toss me 1. I'll take one with you.
Okay.
Adam's gonna do one with you.
I can't remember if the black cherry or the lemon. Oh, that one's
black cherry is usually the better one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm doing black cherry.
Give me the worst one.
Okay.
Oh, there's watermelon.
This is called limon.
Limon, not lemon. We ain't heathens here. It's lemon.
Lemon. So I'm not doing the questions.
Black cherry.
I'll just torment it with you.
Okay.
There's a couple new ones in here.
Oh, goodness.
Cool.
All right, here we go.
I might need another Skittle.
Who is your favorite actress?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Ooh, good one. Okay. Favorite kind of cake?
I'd say at my wedding that blueberry lemon cake.
Oh yeah, that looked really good. I didn't get any.
That thing was gone. Oh, I don't know if I can do this.
What's one food you don't like to eat?
Obviously, oysters. Sushis.
What is your dream car?
That's a good one. Because, I mean, Bertha's my dream car. For those of you that don't know, I have an Expedition that I love, and her name's
2020.
Bertha. A 2020. She's a bad bitch.
Twin.
She's a bad bitch.
Bertha.
I would say... Ooh, now it's getting sweet.
You were ready for that one?
Yeah, that was good. I'm gonna do another one. Black cherry.
Okay. I would say I'd say a Bentley Continental. Those things are bad, dude.
Those are bad.
Like classy. Like I don't need a sports car. Like I've already got a lead foot, dude. Like
At least some room.
just like a nice like those Bentley Continentals are bad.
Adam's struggling over
I
here.
don't know, man. That one got ya. Get you in the back of the cheekers.
If you had to pick a show to watch on repeat, what would it be?
I do this all the time. It's The Office or Schitt's Creek.
Oh, okay.
Or I fall asleep too. I'm just ignoring you over here. Are you all right, Adam?
Take a sip, bro.
Do I need to make you breathe?
No, I'm good.
I don't have any suction catheters with me, so.
So let you a little secret. Good thing we got a BRT over
I was
here.
struggling right there because it was
Badass RT.
BART.
really stuck in my throat.
Oh, God.
I was trying to swallow it and I coughed and it came right back up.
Oh, thank God. I really would have had to do the Heimlich on
I
you.
was literally
Jesus.
stuck right there. I could
You know
feel
who
it just turning.
you had the-
If that would have happened, you know who to call? Trake the Ripper.
He's good.
Oh, that's good. I love that. I love that so much for
So
us.
Schitt's Creek or The Office? What about you, Adam?
Oh, The Office.
Yeah, The Office.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I fall asleep to Forensic Files though. Like that's like my husband thinks I'm so weird. I'm like, dude, it's some really cool lucid dreaming though. Like,
Yeah.
What was the
But-
question? I'm sorry.
If you had to watch a show on repeat, what would it be?
Oh, that 70s show.
ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Sorry, I was literally like small.
He was dying.
Like
He
I
was-
was choking, but it's like I wasn't choking. It was just
It was
like
a soft choke.
It's like when you swallow a pill and you're like
You gotta, yeah.
back my
It was like a
throat.
50
Yep.
shades.
Literally-
It's like a 50 Shades of Grey choke.
Yep. We
I
need to
have
take the
not
Ripper.
watched that, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Sorry.
Well, Valentine's Day coming up, and you do have a girlfriend.
Said,
and
I do not know what that is.
I haven't
fact-
seen that or Magic Mike yet. So.
Listen, all the 50 Shades of
You haven't-
Grey.
So wait a second. You haven't seen the scene in Magic Mike at the gas station yet?
I've
don't-
actually never seen Magic Mike.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
show you.
neither.
'cause
You
it-
haven't seen Magic Mike?
No, I haven't.
I gotta show it to you. 'Cause it is hilarious.
No, I'm joking. He's like, dude, I'm a camera guy on 50 Shades of Grey. Is that question in there?
I will say, oof, I got really loud. I will say, Valentine's Day is coming up, and Peacock has all the 50 Shades of Grey. So you and your woman.
How many are there?
There's 3.
You peacocking right now?
We'll probably actually. I've never even brought it up. It's been a while, but we'll
Apparently,
probably
it's
have
really
to watch
steamy.
them
If you're,
I have to watch them all.
Here's what I will say right now. And Tabby, have you watched them?
No.
all. Actually, our anniversary is
Well,
like a couple of days after Valentine's.
So
Fun. See, ooh.
I'm going to tell you right now. If you're going to watch 50 Shades of Grey, make sure the lights are out, candles are lit, flip it on.
Whoa.
You know, I got a little weirded out when my mom brought me over the books. She's like, "Have you read these books? You need to read them." And I was like,
Gets a little hot and
And
heavy.
after
Yeah.
you read them, you're just like, mother.
What are you? Okay, well now we know how I got here.
I'm going to take this question too. If I had to pick a show to watch on repeat, I would watch Entourage.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oldie but a
Another
goodie.
good one
All day,
too.
every
Ooh,
day.
The League. That was a good one too.
a good one.
Loved
I
The
just-
League.
I-
He just
Literally-
started watching it again.
I told him every time.
What is that streaming one?
Hulu.
Ooh, good. Okay,
I started every time football season starts, just for fantasy football and stuff. So I literally just finished it last
Dude,
week.
Taco's my favorite.
Yeah.
Taco's the best. He makes the show.
Great. He's great.
John LaJoy.
Dude, the last season was so disappointing, though.
It was.
Like,
I didn't like how they ended it.
I hated
either.
it. And, like, you know, the one, Nick Kroll's character, what was his name? Ruxin. When his wife died or whatever, and it was, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, it's been out for years.
I thought they were really joking about that.
I did too. I did too.
They're really going to kill off Sophia?
And I'm like, why? Like, it was so, like, and, like, that's what, like, the season I feel like focused on, and I was just like, this just got real, like,
going off the rails.
You got too real.
I'm like, this is why you didn't have a 5th season, because it sucked. Like,
they could come out with another season with the whole 18th birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the league is really good.
EBDB.
Right?
Welcome to the EBDB B&B.
What would you go back in time to do?
I would say not be such a waste of space the first few years of my college career. I wish I would have focused harder. It's not anything like I get to live like the coolest lifestyle now. Like I can literally say I can do whatever I want when I want. But
Right.
or I guess I could say I go back in time and meet somebody. But I really wish I would have like focused a little bit earlier in my early 20s and stuff, and like maybe been a little bit further ahead than what I am now.
So self-help.
Self-help, yeah.
Self-help.
More self-help.
How about you, Adam?
Mine would be to go back and get Fraps and Slaps 2 release. But I got since alternative school my last 8 days of my high school senior year. So my teacher deleted all my... So if you want to watch that, go to YouTube, Slaps, Fraps, and More.
That's funny.
You won't believe it, but that's me in the very beginning.
I also started on that.
Oh, he showed a lot of face on that.
You guys had a lot of like home movie kind of things. Well, hashtag TV Tech.
Yeah, right. But that, go back in time.
Our earlier years of film.
If I did go back in time, not get to since alternative school, or if I did, try to save Slaps, Fraps, and More Part 2, because that was coming out.
We were 17 at the time when that came out.
Yeah.
Side note, the Skittles taste really good with Warhead.
Does it really?
Got it
I believe it. What food do you crave most often?
Tacos.
Tacos are so good.
Yep.
Sam,
That's like the number one thing that I make.
Yeah.
I gotta say, probably yeah, you're probably
Tacos.
right, because
Tacos are
around
delicious.
Christmas time, up to my birthday, which was this January 7th, I've had La Chorritas a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Morel Azteca.
Dude, I missed in Vermont. They didn't have like authentic Mexican, and like that was the thing that I would crave. And I already like kind of touched on this. Like, and I told my husband I was going to mention it. Vermont beef sucks. I said it. Don't care. I just think it's because they're not a very agricultural state, and they probably like they don't have a big beef market, but it's very bland. But like they're
if I think of Vermont, I think of like soups.
leaves,
Leaves and soup.
leaf soup.
Leaf soup. I think it's tea.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Well, it is a rec state too, so.
That's great.
But I
They call
mean,
that tea?
tincture. It's a thing.
That's funny.
So, tacos for sure. But like the beef sucked out there, so it was like I'd come home and I'd be like, let's go get teca.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yes.
I need me some teca. And then I would be all the guys at Ellis Teca, they call me borracha, which means drunk in Spanish. So I'm like, well, that's great. It's actually Courtney Braun's original nickname, if you remember Courtney.
Yeah, I know. Courtney.
And when she moved to Washington D.C., they're like, well, you're our new borracha, so congrats. So yeah, I definitely like missed like. Or like right now, it's like a cheeseburger. Like I'm always like, can I get a good Legion burger right now? Like the American Legion in Wapak.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Okay, what is your go-to movie when you're bored, or do you just search for hours for one to watch?
I definitely would probably put on like Beetlejuice or like Nightmare Before Christmas or just like classics.
Do you ever
like,
find yourself just searching through like Netflix? Though,
I
and
do.
Hulu, and then like you look down and you're like, bro, it's been like 45 minutes.
and like I've added like 20 I've added like 20 things to my list of like, oh, that looks interesting, but like I'm not like, because you don't want to like
You'll never watch them though, and you
Right.
end up watching your
Or, like,
regular stuff.
you
Like,
just-
I've seen this 1,000 times.
right, like, and it's like, oh, I don't want to lose my spot in what I'm searching for, so I just keep scrolling. Like it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I guess I'll just turn on some Beetlejuice or some like Disney Plus or something, man.
That's
Like,
great.
Yep.
What are your top 5 funniest movies?
ooh, okay,
It's tough.
I know. Step Brothers. Nice. Definitely one of them.
Solid choice.
God, why can't I like think of any movies off the top of my head now? Like,
we can spout off some pretty easily.
Probably, yeah.
Probably not that funny though.
Super bad.
Super bad. Super Troopers. Grandma's Boy. Definitely is a good one.
Yeah, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. I like
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison's a freaking classic for sure.
Tommy
Like
Boy.
Tommy Boy. Yep. Any like classic like comedy like that. Like I love it. Like yeah. There was one that I'm gonna think of. Yeah. Like there's one that I'm like thinking of in the back of my head, and I can't think of the name of it, and I'm like, it'll come to me after this podcast.
Can you remember anything about it?
Not really, but it's like there's just something like swimming in my brain. Like this. I'm not good at one spot stuff. Like this. You got this.
You got this one.
I'm like,
there's so many good movies out there.
And here's the thing, like
Dumber.
Right,
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street's good. Here's the thing. I used to be like such a movie buff, and like my husband, we don't like sit down and watch TV because one, he falls asleep, and then I get annoyed, and I'm like, you've been at work all day, pay attention to me. But like if we watch a movie, like he falls asleep, so like I find myself like just like scrolling through Netflix or something with like stuff that I watch like all the time or like nothing new, and then I'm like, okay, well, like you know what I mean. So like I don't like if I make a movie quote, he doesn't get it sometimes. So I'm oh, so like I am not as like brushed up on like my movies as I used to be, and I'm like,
my wife's the same way, but me and Adam work every day together.
Right. Yeah. I know. I need more people like that in my life. Like we went to Turner Family Christmas and like we all like quote movies, and I'm just like, did I catch a niner in there? Like we're rolling dice. Like you roll a 9.
Walkie-talkie.
I need a liter of soda.
What's the best vacation to you?
Ooh. I would say I feel like I'm like slurping on my warhead. I'm so sorry. Speaking of mouth sounds.
I had to crunch mine up real quick.
You know what? Water has to be involved. Booze has to be involved. So probably like beach or like I would say like
beach vibes.
Beach vibes. Vegas, because the pool bars.
Yeah.
Traverse City. Actually, I would say Traverse City was probably one of my favorite vacations because we went there in the summer, and there's a whole peninsula of wineries and then like breweries everywhere.
Yeah.
And the like Lake Michigan literally has at that point like Caribbean blue water.
Michigan.
Michigan.
It is nice.
It's so beautiful, and like the kayak, like stuff like that, stuff that's relaxing, or like I don't really want to go do touristy things. Like I just want to chill. Like I am a busy person, clearly. Like
I don't want to be rushing around to do other like fun stuff. I just let it come to me.
My husband and I, like, when we go on vacations, like, we literally, like, go there knowing nothing about the place. And they're like, oh, we should have researched this more later. And I'm like, no, because we literally just, like, go with the flow. And, like, find, like, 5 wineries down the road. And we're like, okay, cool. Like, you know.
I wouldn't mind, like, I don't know. I do like the touristy vibes a little bit. Not, like, so, not to a certain extent, though. Mm-hmm. But like, when we went to LA, like, I was huge about, like, oh, I want to
do a movie cruise or something.
Well, I really wanted to do the, what do they call that? The celebrity house tour.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was so fun.
That would be so fun. Well, that's like when we were in Maine. We did the touristy like bike tour. Like we did like the tour out in the bay. And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad we actually did do something a little touristy because we don't like being those people that are touristy. But like
we did like
sometimes it's fun.
Yeah, we went to Myrtle Beach and we did like a speedboat ride. Mm-hmm. That was super cool.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's dolphins that like race next to you. It's
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I would love to go somewhere where like I would like in the Bahamas, like snorkeling and like
too. It's not like a small one.
Oh damn!
I only had dolphins on the bottom of my feet that like blasted me up. It was like,
yeah, like just riding on some dolphins.
Basically, yeah.
I feel like if I was out there, they'd been like, all right, nope.
All right, they probably would have brought up
this guy.
4 more dolphins.
I think I would
bring in the shark.
I know. I told Andy like I really want to do like a Caribbean vacation, like where you've got like all like the sea life and like you know like going snorkeling.
The only thing I can recommend would be a cruise.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how I'd feel being stuck in on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
That's what a lot of people thought of. Now, granted, we've come a long way since the Titanic.
Right.
Okay. I don't have...
You said you saw this at the bottom of the Titanic. You're going to see this on the bottom of Caribbean cruises.
Carnival Cruise.
This came out of Carnival Cruise 2022.
But those boats are huge.
A lobster was wearing it.
Yeah. You barely feel the boat. It's like like the only time you'll feel it is if you're in the room chilling or like sleeping. You'll barely feel like the little rock because it's just so big.
Rock me to sleep, baby.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You get like sort of cable.
Right.
You might
Sort of cable.
Well, it's like on a recording. All your channels are like on a loop. So you might watch Karate Kid the same like 3 days later. You're like, hey, just watch this. Yeah, it's on a loop, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's so much to do on the cruise ship.
That would be
on your
fun.
way. That like
there's a casino. There's like all the things. A water park.
I don't think I'd be able to go to sleep on a cruise. I'd be like,
dude,
it'd be like being in Vegas. Like,
and there's free food like almost throughout the whole entire night. Yeah. One night I had 9 ice cream cones. They have
such a specific number.
9.
Counted.
So many. I think I had 7, and then I took 2 to my bedroom.
Did I catch a 9er in there?
Yeah. They had like the dive-in theater where like at the swimming pool with a huge theater. They had like double screen, so I just like walk down the little steps.
That's awesome.
Ice cream
That's
right
so
there.
cool.
Yeah.
Ocean right there.
So the last question we have for you is, what is your sports teams?
Okay. So,
or who are your sports teams, I guess?
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I am a Buckeye fan. Oh, that's right. When it comes to hockey, I am a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and that's simply because like when I started watching hockey, the guy I was dating at the time was from Pittsburgh.
Nah,
not runner. I know you mentioned him in one of the podcasts, and I like texted him, and I was like, "You're mentioned in a podcast." It was still obviously a really like close friendship. You know what I mean? He's
Runner's
one of the cool
dude.
runners, the best.
Yep.
So I was Pittsburgh Penguins fan, still am. Cincinnati Reds.
Nice.
Hell yes.
Here he is.
Yeah. NBA, I guess I'm a Cavs fan. Like, I don't really follow NBA very much. Like, it just doesn't.
Nobody does this shit.
It's not very entertaining.
Sometimes it is, but it's just they're too involved with other shit.
Yeah.
So the NFL, when it comes to the NFL, it is kind of funny because I was raised a Raiders fan. My dad's a diehard Raiders fan, and he's like, "You're a Raiders fan," and I'm like,
Raiders.
And when I got older, I was like, "Why am I following the Raiders just because my dad liked it?" And I was like, "Well, I don't want to be an Ohio person," so I was like, "I'll be an Indianapolis Colts fan."
Okay.
So now my husband's a Browns fan, and I'm like, well, sometimes you just have to do things that make your husband happy because he does a lot of things that make me happy that he probably doesn't want to do.
Hey, my wife grew up a Browns fan. I switched her to a Bengals fan.
Yeah. Oh, I heard on your podcast about the jerseys.
She's all orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting my girl because she's originally from Seattle, Washington.
Oh yeah.
So she's a huge Seattle Seahawks,
yeah,
which I don't think I can change that. Her baseball team's the Mariners.
Yeah.
But she'll wear Buckeyes.
Have you ever heard the song?
She'll wear Brown stuff every so often. So I'm like, yes.
So you know the rapper Macklemore?
Yeah.
He's from Seattle.
Oh, I don't know.
So he has a song out though, and every time I listen to it, I shit you not, goosebumps.
Really?
So he has a song, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll find it though. But he has a song about the Mariners winning the championship game with King Griffey Jr. in it.
Oh, cool.
And he talks about how he's with his dad out in the garage, like listening to the game.
Cool.
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps now.
You are.
That's awesome.
Like it's so because I was a King Griffey Jr. fan.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, absolutely. How
So
could
it
you
was
not
just
be?
like
That's so cool.
Backwards hat, a lot of older people would be like, "Why are you wearing a backwards hat for? You're not a sniper, you're not a catcher." I was like, "No, I grew up watching King Griffey Jr."
Yeah,
Fuck yourself.
Eat it.
Yep.
Eat it.
So yeah, I'm a Browns fan now.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you saw like on Facebook, I posted like our Christmas photos. I got our dogs; they're both chocolate labs. I got them Browns jerseys, and like we had our Browns gear on. I'll go to Browns games. I'm like, oh yay, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. We've actually taught our dog to do that. Like if we'll go, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Like the dog will bark, and it's
That's
so
cool.
freaking
awesome.
cute.
That's so cool.
So, it makes him happy, but I am all Ohio. Like, I think it's great the Bengals are like in the playoffs. Like, good for them.
Oh yeah. Ohio.
Who day,
Ohio
baby?
way, yeah.
Who day?
Yeah.
Who day? I am a huge Bengals fan first and foremost.
Yeah.
But the song's called "My Oh My."
My oh my. Okay.
Well, I'll play it for you after the show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
It's pretty good. So Adam.
Yeah. Now we're
do
gonna
you
get
wanna-
into some would you rather's.
Ooh, okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
broke my knee.
Yeah.
Would you rather go on a night on the town with Kim Kardashian, or Antonio Brown?
Oh, God.
Antonio Brown is about to get live.
Yeah. I think I would probably do a Kim K because I'd really like to see, are you that stupid? Like you portray yourself to be?
She's actually pretty smart.
She's really smart. Like
she's she's going to law school.
Wants you to think.
Exactly. Like
she's going to law school now.
Yeah.
No,
Now. So
she's
she
already
can make it seem like she's smart.
No. She's already been to law school, graduated law school. She's
waiting on her bar. Or
she's
something
waiting
like
on
that.
her bar exam right now.
Yeah. So I actually think I would be, because obviously she's not the
Think about it, though. She turned in herself
right
for money.
Yeah. Good for her.
Not in a horse sense,
but like
sometimes in a horse sense.
I
sometimes.
thought that's how she got.
Yeah, it was the sex.
First time.
Yeah.
Old Ray J.
Oh, it was Ray J. That's right. Yeah,
we would be best friends.
I think
I'll
I
tape
would-
you at the hotel.
I think I would definitely do a Kim K thing.
Kim K.
Yeah, because I'd like to like see the real her, or like not the oh my god kind of like Valley Girl kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
She does make fun of herself too on Saturday Night Live.
oh, she does.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Kim K, but
Okay.
for different reasons. I'm gonna say no to Antonio Brown because I'm afraid that we would get halfway into the club and then he'd just freak out and leave.
He just peace out. Oh, we're having a good time. He's just like,
Deuces.
oh, my boy. See ya. Okay, cool.
So no to Antonio Brown because of that reason. Sometimes I like to stay a little bit longer.
For sure. Sometimes those 2012 days creep up on us.
And then the reason I would go with Kim K is because I want to party with Pete Davidson.
Yeah, that's right. He is dating.
God, he's one human that I'm just
Long
like,
live Pete.
he looks like a naked mole rat. Can we
I
just
know,
like,
I know.
I mean, I just don't get it.
He is
He had a
the
fantastic 21.
he is a breath of fresh air for every average looking male out there.
I literally was just about to say that. I'm like, all those ugly men out there, you've got hope. You can land your own Kim K. You heard it first.
Exactly. Or as we just saw on She's Out of My League.
Yes.
So it's
So we're watching on the way up here.
for celebrities, those rules don't apply.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But he's also just so stupid too. Like the way at least the way he appears. Who can we say? Like, because we don't know, but
Right, we don't know the
we don't
inside.
know the real inside.
He is an interesting guy.
Davidson, but-
He's an
right.
interesting guy though.
My
Okay.
Lord.
Would you rather be thrown on an island with Bear Grylls or thrown on an island with Joe Rogan?
Ooh. Well, let's talk about this. Ooh. Joe Rogan is hilarious for one. Like, and he's very smart too.
He is very
Bear
smart.
Grylls is a survivalist though. So like, if I'm here to like, am I here to like survive and like figure out how to live and like, or is
Yeah.
this like I already have living situations?
Just you two on an island.
Yeah.
We'll say like a castaway island, like the Tom Hanks
like
island.
Tom Hanks.
You going with Joe Rogan?
Wilson.
Or you going with Bear Grylls?
I'm gonna say from a survivalist aspect, Bear Grylls, but damn, Joe Rogan would be entertaining.
He's got a lot of people on his show with, I think he would learn a little thing or two.
Yeah.
I think he knows some things.
I think he does.
He's a big hunter.
Yeah, I mean,
He's huge into hunting, and especially big game.
I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, it'd be fine with both. I would probably go, you know what, maybe I'm going to change it. I think Joe Rogan, because I'd be interested
I think
in
I
that.
would go.
I think
think
pretty
Joe
good
Rogan.
deal.
Yeah,
I would go.
I like-
Joe Rogan.
okay.
Just mainly because I don't want to drink my own piss.
that's true. Like, the second Bear Grylls says, man, you got to drink this. You got to drink your piss just to survive. I'd be like,
Bear.
yeah, nah, I'm out.
Be like,
like,
Bear,
do I really?
We're surrounded by an ocean. He's like, pee's way better for you.
He's it. This is the way it
filtered,
is.
naturally filtered through your body. Like, makes me think of Waterworld with Kevin Costner. If you haven't seen that, at the very beginning, he's pissing in the machine and he drinks it.
That's right.
It's delicious.
But Kevin Costner, though,
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yellowstone, good God.
Oh, yeah, I
watched
forgot
it
he's
yet.
in that. Yeah, that's right. I
haven't
need to
watched
watch that.
You guys need to binge
really
it.
Good.
Peacock, again. Peacock.
I just got done binging Cobra Kai.
I
haven't seen Cobra Kai yet.
It's really good.
Amazing. If you like Karate Kid, did you like the Karate Kids?
I did, yeah.
Okay, you will love karate.
This is
You
like
will
a
love Cobra
series.
Kai.
Yeah.
I love karate.
So do you remember like Johnny Lawrence from the very first Karate Kid? Like he was the
Yeah.
he was the guy
leg.
that he
Yeah.
was the guy that he fought at the end or whatever. So Johnny Lawrence is like basically the main character in Cobra Kai.
So it's like kind of moving on from Karate Kid,
Yeah, this is
basically.
definitely them.
like-
This is definitely
Yes.
them growing up, but it's almost like making it seem like LaRusso at first is the bad guy.
Yeah. It's like it's like
Ooh,
told
like from a different perspective.
yes. It's
Ooh.
told, the
technically-
story's all told from Johnny's perspective.
The theory is in the old Karate Kid,
Most-
if you
for the
go
most
into
part.
theory, is technically, if you go back to the very first Karate Kid, LaRusso was the bad guy. One, he's a new kid. Okay, we'll give him that. But he moves in on Johnny's just recently moved on girlfriend.
Broken up girl, yeah.
Now he's dissing on his girl. Okay. And then I think the other one is like he's the one who actually throws the first punch at Johnny when they're on the sand having a good time. Johnny's just like, hey man, just here, and he's just like, bow. He's like, okay, new kid on the block, about to get your ass kicked.
Right.
So they really make it seem. I've seen a fan theory, and they make it look like LaRusso is the bad guy.
The very first
really
season,
reverse the perspective.
Like, damn,
yeah,
bro,
and it's really good because and Johnny Lawrence, I forget his name, like his actual name, but Johnny Lawrence in the Cobra Kai show, he just plays this character so well. I mean, it's like he's still stuck in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
So, like, every time he comes on screen, an 80s song comes on the show.
Yes.
William,
like all the electric music.
William Zabka.
That even sounds 80s.
Yeah,
Zabka.
He's hilarious though.
Yeah.
Like one of
so there's like a lot of comedy too.
Well, they still pull a lot of
tons of comedy.
They pull a lot of 80s like homage, so you'll hear like the old music, but it's like redone in this time.
Yeah.
Like like the Cruel Summer, but they like bring it up to date, but it still has like that 80s vibe.
It's so
I
love this.
It's so
love
good.
that.
Tabby, you would love the show.
It's like a blast
I'm gonna have
from
to start
the past,
binging. I have
time.
so many shows that I binge. Like I need to just add that to the list.
What's nice about it though is like they're 30-minute shows, so you can
instead of like an hour.
Yeah, there's only 9 episodes per season.
Oh well, perfect.
Yeah.
So we got this. I got a whole day of binging.
I
got a good binge day in me.
It's great.
Anyway, moving on. Would you rather have the powers of Spider-Man or the powers of Venom?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That's
a hard one for you, Adam, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, would you have to use their powers like for evil or for good? Like what their purpose of their powers is? Like
powers are. Carnage has got to eat people, man. He's got to have brains, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one. I think I would go Spider-Man on that.
But it's almost like, you ever watched Dexter?
Yeah.
No.
Dexter is basically a serial killer, but he works for
for the police.
He's a blood splatter analyst, but he only kills really, really bad people.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true. Like it's kind of like a Boondock Saints kind of thing. Like
what kind of Venom is? He tries to only eat the really bad people, or you just Spider-Man and you got to have a secret identity and you just go around, saving people all day.
Secret identities are kind of fun though. I mean, like.
Yes.
But Venom, you have a living live suit. You have a living live suit.
You need to go watch the movie.
I know, bro. I know. Damn it.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
I know you guys were talking about it the last time, and I'm like, because I have nobody to go to the movies with. Like, if I go and watch it, like, Andy's going to be Snoozeville, and I'm like, well, this is fun. So, like, we just avoid that at all costs. So, I feel like I swear, like, I feel like my new movies that, like, are coming out, like, I'm so behind on unless I, like, literally watch it and do it myself.
Right. When I heard the beginning, I went to go try to watch it, and the sound was all messed up.
Oh my god, like the most annoying thing.
It's so good, guys.
I know. I need to go find like friends that are like movie date people. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go to watch this movie.
We actually texted Adam the night we went.
I was like, I can't do it. Like it's just like just off of the time. If we maybe went the next day, but unfortunately, we all probably would have had to get our refund.
I know
because the sound was terrible.
We're just gonna go to the good one in Dublin.
Yeah, we really do.
It's a really good movie though. There's a reason why it surpassed everything so far.
Yeah.
So I might have to go Spider-Man only because I don't have to eat bad people and have a voice inside my head.
Yeah, the whole voice inside my head thing is kind of what throws me. Like at least with Spider-Man, like. You have your secret identity, and that's fine because, like...
And you don't need Venom to have superpowers. You're just like, oh, Spider bit me? Now it's part of me now.
Right.
Yeah, I would go Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm going to go Spider-Man.
I would go Tobey Maguire one, only because he can shoot the webs out of his hands.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely
am trying to read you.
Why are you trying to read me right now?
Because, I mean, the new movie comes out, and the trailers that I've seen, there's multiple people that are in there, and Tobey Maguire is the only Spider-Man in history. And Stan Lee, the man, has commented and said, wow, why didn't I think of that?
Crack me up.
Oh, my God.
Tobey Maguire's the only one who shoots webs out of his body. Everyone else used cartridges.
Yeah.
So I was trying to read you and see if they bring it up in the movie or not. Moving on.
Onward.
No spoilers.
I'm not breaking. Breaking.
No spoilers.
Would you rather, which would be good for you because I'm pretty sure you've seen all of these. Would you rather hang out with a group from Superbad, 21 Jump Street or Pitch Perfect?
Oh, okay.
Superbad, 21 Jump Street, or Pitch Perfect? Which group of people are you hanging out with? The main group in that
man.
movies.
Rebel Wilson has me with the Pitch Perfect because she is just
She's
so.
Comedy Central.
I
She's
mean,
funny.
she would just be funny. Jonah, are we talking Superbad Jonah Hill? Like just straight up Superbad Jonah Hill?
Yeah,
like,
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, Superbad, you have Jonah Hill.
And
Michael Cera.
And McLovin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I guess McLovin. You're absolutely right.
McLovin.
Yeah, you're right. Those
And
three
Bill
guys.
Hader. We got Bill
really
Hader.
Look stupid.
Yeah, they'd be like the main people. Yeah, that's true. You could be hanging out with the cops all day.
You look like Aladdin. You should really take that off.
Yeah.
Who you think you are, Seal?
Like Madonna?
McLovin, I'll have you know. Muhammad? I'll have you know. Muhammad's the most popular name in the country. Google it or look
It's
at
either
it.
that or Muhammad. Why would it be Muhammad? Muhammad's actually the one of the closest used names. McLovin?
Read a book.
Yeah, read a book. Oh, are you
I think
You'll
I'm
be
gonna
missing
go.
your knee slappers at Dartmouth.
I think I just answered. I think I'm gonna go with super bad for something. Like
okay.
There's there's so many drugs in 21 Jump Street that I'm like. Although Channing Tatum though, like, we just
Channing Tatum's a good looking dude.
he's a good looking
he
dude.
is.
But we ain't Magic Mike in it here, so
You can go Magic Mike, or you can go, this is the end. Make Channing Tatum my bitch.
yes,
Here,
that
cool?
is funny.
He's taking one of them whenever I want to.
You know what? I might backtrack and put that as one of my top fives because this is the end.
This is the end.
Kills me.
Oh,
It's
dude.
great.
that is a good one.
That is a great movie.
Top 5 funniest movies? Okay.
Yeah,
That's an
I think
that's an
I'm
underrated
backtracking
movie.
to that one. That is a very underrated
good
movie.
Or Your Highness.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
that's a
So
good
apparently that's another super underrated. And apparently, James Franco did not like filming that movie at all.
I heard. That's what I
Really?
heard, yeah.
But I really loved it.
I liked
love
it.
that
It was
movie.
hilarious.
Yes, it is.
So funny.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think I'm going with Superbad. Back to on point.
Out of those three, where are you
Superbad.
going with, Treg? And it's different from the other ones we had before.
Yeah, I would go with Superbad.
Superbad?
Yeah. Yeah. I could go the Pitch Perfect route, but I mean it's just high school.
Right. Well, I mean, so
it's
Superbad,
but
but
I mean Superbad is more of like a party life.
probably
Yeah.
like the life that we lived in high school,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
versus, like, I mean, I know we were in show choir, but let's be real, it's still
Yeah.
Superbad.
Yes. Absolutely.
By the way, for those of you who do not know, all three of us were in show choir together.
It was good
show
times.
choir nerds.
It was really good times.
It was
I had a
fun times.
blast.
We actually just talked about that today.
We talked a lot
Indianapolis.
about
Do you
it
guys
today.
remember Indianapolis?
No.
When we went to Indy and we got in
Indianapolis?
was it Indianapolis? We went to Indiana or something.
Went a lot of
We did go
We
to a lot of
went,
places.
we went a lot of
I'm
places.
not gonna lie though, my 17s and 18s are kind of a blur.
It's a lot of stuff.
I just remember we got in trouble.
Oh, was that from no, that was from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Oh yeah, that was a good
What
one.
kind of trouble? We have to be more specific.
Yeah, because we got in trouble a lot.
I don't think we should speak of it on the podcast. Trouble.
Okay, offer. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just in case we get anybody else in
That was
trouble.
Battle Creek,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Battle Creek. Definitely Battle Creek.
Because I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Who did we get thrown from Redskin Review? Taze Valley. Do you remember Taze Valley?
Yeah.
I think they got suspended from
did?
Redskin Review. Yes.
Damn.
I didn't hear. I don't
Something
know.
happened with
forget.
that. Something happened. They weren't allowed back or something.
Yeah. So, from our school, we had.
Yeah, when we had or not Redskin. Was it Redskin Review? What was our competition
thing that
called?
we-
Ours was called
Redskin Review was the
Music and More.
Music and More.
Music and
God.
more. Oh, it's
Redskin
because they destroyed one of our bathrooms.
Oh, that's
really?
right.
I don't remember
Yes.
that.
It was the
Yes.
C wing.
The C wing bathroom.
upstairs.
Dude, my dad asked me all the time, like, "Dude, do you remember that party you had like back when you were like 18 here?" And I'm like,
Be a little more specific, Father.
I literally every time I literally say to him, I'm like, "Dad, I was like, I don't know why you're still holding on to this. 1, 2, no, I do not."
No. My parents do that too every
and he's
once
like,
in a
"How do you
while.
not remember that?" I was like, I have no idea.
Because I don't remember half
it was
the
a
parties.
party.
Yeah.
Party because I got a drink.
So apparently I threw a party and I didn't know this because I
threw a couple
genuinely
parties.
I threw a lot of parties. Yeah.
Say you threw a couple parties.
I threw quite a few. I remember making mac and cheese for Josh. one night. This was after high school, but like
Cockrell?
Yes, Josh Cockrell was like, "I'm so hungry, Tabby," and I was like, "I've got mac and cheese."
Tabby, I need mac and cheese now.
Yeah, he's like,
what
"Is
you're
this
gonna
mac and
get."
cheese done yet?" Like that's all he kept saying. He was so annoyed.
I could see Josh like as he's eating the noodles. He's like, "These noodles aren't really that done for me, but I'll eat it."
Right. He was actually
just
pretty
drunk enough
super
to eat 'em.
appreciative. And then I think he passed out on my couch and that was it. But I remember.
Tell me he wouldn't say something like
Oh,
that.
yes, he would. He 100% would.
These noodles aren't totally al dente, but
It's fine. It'll work. After we were at Froggy's all day or something. Good God.
yeah.
It's a total Josh Cockrell thing.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
I threw a party in high school. My parents still throw this one in my face. And apparently people got up in my parents' liquor cabinet. And I was always like, BYOB, bros. Like, don't get in my parents' liquor stash because they will know. Like,
yeah.
for God's sakes, my parents are drinkers. Like, holler. So somebody got upstairs and like got into the vodka or the gin and like even the Jack Daniels and they like tried to replace it with water. And my mom kept blaming it on me. I was like, Mom, I swear to God to this day, I'm like, it was not me. I was like, I was drinking your beer. Like, I am not.
Let's be real.
I've never been a liquor drinker. Like, I've always been a beer drinker. And I was just like, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
But I think I do know who it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, because she went upstairs and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, no. Nothing.
Getting a
Like,
glass of water.
getting a glass of water and putting a Skittle in it.
I'll never forget my dad found a Corona bottle, and I don't even think it was in my room. I think he found it in my brother's room, and he thought it was mine. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he goes, you're the only one that would drink crazy stuff like this. I was like, no,
It's not that
it's like,
crazy.
I drink only Coors Light, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what's awful is my beer palate still sucks like a college student. Like my
I'm
daily
a Busch Light guy through and through.
Right. So is Andy. And I'm a Coors Light girl. I'll drink Busch Light if I have to. Like if we're going through the gas station and he's like, we're going somewhere and he's like, can we just get one 30-pack instead of getting you a 12-pack of Coors Light and me a 12-pack of Busch Light? Like, can we just spare this here?
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, fine. But like I've like always been a Coors Light drinker and that's just kind of how it is. Like I will drink like craft beer here and there, but like
Right.
I mean, you got your daily drivers, like your Busch Lights and your Coors Lights, and I'm okay with that. I don't need a fancy palate. And then I drink freaking like bougie red wines, like freaking Cabernets and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like
I could never do.
how do I have an advanced wine palate and then like a super shitty beer palate?
Tried wine, can't do it.
I've only been wine drunk one time, and apparently I was super happy.
Oh, it's the best buzz. Listen, me and my friend Cindy this past week, the maid of honor at my wedding.
Yeah.
So I went down to Columbus to see her this past weekend because we just needed girls' night, and we got wine buzz. We got quite a few bottles of wine and played Mario all night on my Nintendo Switch, and it was the happiest buzz ever. Like
that's why I don't know why I didn't try it again because I was really happy.
Yeah, because you are so hungover, you feel it in your toenails the next day.
That's probably what it was.
Yes, wine hangovers are the worst.
Like buzz your girlfriend.
You need some drink aid for that one.
You do. Man. You need some liquid IV before you go to bed for sure.
Ain't no joke.
For sure.
Duly noted.
What you got, Adam?
Oh yeah. So moving on. We got two more here. Would you rather be an extra on a TV show, reoccurring, or the cast member of The Real World? Would you rather be an extra on a TV show or the cast member of The Real World?
This is pretty easy for me. I would rather be an extra reoccurring because it's pretty simple to be an extra, and I genuinely do not I think
it'd be pretty simple though to play it in the real world. I mean, you're just yourself though.
Yeah, but you have to deal with all this, like the drama and the bull. Like,
I can't do drama.
Like, I think there's one thing that you guys both know that I do not deal with, and it's drama. Like, the second that somebody starts some high school petty ass shit, I'd be like, nope, I'm out. Bye. Like, I don't have
leaving
time for
the day first week one in Real World, or I'm fighting everybody and I'm getting kicked off.
Exactly. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
Fuck
like,
all your drama.
You want me to be confrontational? Start some unnecessary drama.
Right.
So, Drake?
I would do a cast member of The Real World just because I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the drama wouldn't. Drama.
But like, you're not a girl though. Like, girls, it's different. Like,
Yeah.
girls are so catty. So
Right,
like, I
right.
feel like for you, you're just this fun, lovable guy. Like me, I have this horrible RBF that like, people be like, I'm gonna mess with that one right there. Like, I feel like I would be a target. You would be like, everybody loves him.
I don't know about that. I just think I don't know.
Some dudes would
A
feel
lot
like
of things don't bother me.
some dudes would probably test your gangster.
Well, like you can ask Adam though. Like it takes a lot for me need to get.
Right.
To the point.
Yeah.
And me too, but I feel like, and I'm one of the girls that's like always like a bro. Like I always hang out with dudes, like because I don't like drama. Like it's just my fear.
Yeah.
So like, but I feel like the real world would just be like I would try my hardest to be like.
There is
nice
a lot of
and
drama
fun.
there, though. You are. I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm
you're
like,
not wrong.
I'm going extra on TV show.
Yeah. I think that'd be a fun like experience though. Like
show
to
up
say,
for work, go home.
yeah.
Yep. Like, hey, what's up?
Hey, all right,
ya.
bye.
You're like,
Here's
what do you need me to do today?
flipping
You're
through
gonna-
some papers.
You're going to read that newspaper for the next 4 hours.
Sweet. I'm gonna play solitaire on the computer. Like,
All in a day's work, man.
Be like,
Easy.
I'd show up to the
Easy.
cast and be like, all right, so what's on the drama agenda for today? And they're like, well, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to go down. I'm like, cool, I'm going to go drink.
right? I would
Yeah,
be.
you would be the guy who creates the drama. Where everyone's trying to do
you,
everything.
like,
It's
and nobody would think it was him.
why you just drink all day? All he does is like, what? This is the real world.
I mean-
this is my real world. I am
My
an
real
alcoholic.
world.
I mean,
No,
realistically,
actually, if it was the real world, they would never see me on that show.
right? Facts. I mean,
Out of the bar.
if I were, if I were on Real World, it would be like, all right, I'm going to the bar. I'm going to go get some Mims. I'm going to get some
Be like,
mimosas, and then I'll be back at 11.
Where's Trig at? He hasn't slept in 2 days, and he's been working for.
yeah, right.
Yeah, he's at the.
Yeah.
No, I think that I would be poolside. I'd be the one poolside at the
Yeah,
Real. Me and
poolside,
Treg would be. We'd be like, "Sup? You need another Busch Light?"
Oh, that'd be.
I would be the
I would
extra
do the
guy
real world
show.
just for the vacation.
Yeah, that's true. Is this
That's
like
true.
a permanent vacation? As long as I don't get kicked off the
What is it,
show?
like a 4-month vacation, be on the
Yeah.
real world. Yeah.
Bitches be talking in the background. I'd be like, "Guys, you're really you're messing up my vibe."
There you go.
Here you go, just some of those.
Like a bunch of girls just start talking to me, like in the pool, like Bush.
Yeah. Treg, don't slurp your beer. That'd be me. Treg,
Step
shut
your
up.
rever.
Sip your river.
Step your rever.
Okay, last would you rather, and then we'll work on to our current events.
God, we're
sounds
going.
good.
I'm so sorry. We like
it's
squirrel
okay.
at every
It's all right. It's all good.
conversation. I love this.
Would you rather be a member of the new Baywatch or Scary Movie? Remember the Scary Movie movies? Like the spook
Oh
movies?
yeah, like the.
Be a member
the
of the new Baywatch or Scary Movie.
Well, God, Baywatch. I could just look at The Rock all day and be like, yeah.
Zac Efron's there too.
And Zac Efron, and he's kind of dad bodding it lately.
Alexandra Daddario.
Yep, nailed it.
Yes, please.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Scary Movie though, because I just think it'd be so hilarious. Like the most random improv like jokes that they say on there.
God,
like I'm here
yes.
for it. Like I would probably piss my pants.
I would like to say
nonstop.
Baywatch, but I'd be afraid that I'd be the guy that gets his junk stuck in the
The zipper, like
in the chair.
In the chair, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only going to go Scary Movie
Why
because
does it look like a division sign?
it mu- as much as I love saving people, I'm not about being in the ocean and when sharks and be like, "Oh, I'm saving
Right.
this person." Death.
That's
Oh,
true.
I tried.
Yeah.
That is
I
true.
mean, in
Yeah.
theory, Baywatch would be great for me
point,
because
good
I'm a
point.
CPR expert. But like,
Just bring the people to me
to
on
me,
land.
like I'll be on land and I'll like start the chest
yes,
compressions.
I'm
You
not
just-
going to go
You'll
swimming.
be ready
I
and
don't-
you'll be ready and willing on the 4-wheeler all day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a great
I'd be-
swimmer, but I don't want to go way out
but
there.
you add sharks
Don't wanna go way
and
out.
yeah, I'm good. Like
This is where they live and hunt.
yeah,
Coral?
I'm
I am
cool.
not
Coral
about
that
to be a
gets-
snack. I mean, I'm a
coral that
snack
gets
in real
broke.
life, but like I'm not about to be a
Like,
shark
like
snack.
a shark snack.
Shark snack. I'm out on being a shark snack. All right, we got some current events ready here, right?
Yes, sir. Current
Let's get
events.
into it, brother. All right, so Bob Saget dies at 65.
Man, have we ever figured out what? Because he was on tour right at the moment too.
Yeah, he was on
I was
tour,
going to
yeah.
say, because in the news it said he died in his Orlando hotel room. And when you think of that, I hate to be stereotypical, but we always think like,
Suicide.
all right, suicide, what drugs were they on? Like
right.
something like that. And like, I just don't see that out of Bob Saget. You know what I mean? But you never know. Like, I mean, it's just like, Robin Williams, when he committed suicide, like,
Yeah.
it's-
Heath Ledger.
or Heath Ledger.
It was just like a medical pill thing.
Yeah,
So-
he was ODing on Ambien, which is a hell of a
I
drug.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do want to speak on something real quick. Now, it doesn't have to do with Bob Saget. R.I.P. Bob Saget, though.
R.I.P..
Great Full House.
We lost our
Great
dad that we grew up with.
Yeah, he was the dad.
AFV, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh my God, yeah, I
That's right.
know.
But on a side note to this, so the other day, we got a notification from the schools saying that kids in 8th grade are going to start doing suicide awareness program. Here's my problem with that. I don't feel like my kids should be subjected to something that I have yet to take.
Right. Yeah.
Or that I know anything about.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife about this the other night, and I said, listen, I have complete faith in our kids and our parenting, that we talk to our kids, and that, you know, they know, you know, what's going on or whatever. I mean, they're not stupid. They know that they can talk to us about everything. And she was like, well, I thought I could talk to my parents too. And, you know, you just never know. And here's the thing, though. Whatever happened to school where they teach math, history, English, and science? You know, that you have your extracurricular activities or whatever. Don't, you know, I get it, okay? And I get where the world's leading. Let parents be parents still. Don't take that out of our hands.
Right. And I think that has something to say with like this generation's parenting too. Like, I mean, we do see like a lack of poor parenting or very like in some situations. However, how do you expect your child to go to school and like, I mean, I guess it's a way to break into that conversation with your kids saying, hey, you're going to be in this class and this is what it's going to talk about. But like I say
offer it. Don't force them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's a very forced thing.
And let the kids make the decision on it. It doesn't even have to be the parents.
But are you also introducing a concept that is going to entice them too? Like, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Because like, I remember in high school that we had this like, there was a lot of kids that year that committed suicide, and I get it. It is a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everybody struggles with identity crises and
bullying
and stuff like that.
And it's tough to be a teenager. Kids are assholes.
Really
like that just is matter of fact.
Yeah, they try to fit in too much.
And exactly. Like, I mean, but they were talking about like, you know, I specifically remember them talking about, this was obviously back in like 2004, 2005 or something like that. They specifically talked about like, you see when you go to your friend's funeral because they committed suicide, like you see all the attention and the limelight that they got, and kids will say like, oh, I want that too. Like, look at all these kids missing this person that they hardly know. Like, like at 8th grade, they're such a sponge. Like, you don't want to introduce that thought to them as well and say like, oh, look at the limelight that this person got.
Wait till they have a mature mind to talk about this.
I agree. Like when you're
but I will say though, there are some kids dealing with things that we probably don't know about, and maybe they need it.
Yes.
Sure. And you know, I guess I don't want to be the naive parent of saying, "Oh, my kids are fine," you know, leave my kids alone. But I do talk to our kids. I talk to our kids now, and they're ages 7 and 4. But like, you know, I can't imagine my kids being 13 and they're like, "Yeah, Dad, we have to take a suicide class." I'm like, "Oh, why?"
What? I look at my
if they're asking, if they have to ask the question, "Why are we doing this?"
Then they're not ready. They're not ready. I look at my nephew that's 13. He's in 8th grade right now, and one of my best friend's kids is in 8th grade, and I don't think that they have the mental capacity for that right now. They're just trying to look at the next Fortnite video game. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, now, like I said, though, are there some kids at that age that are probably...
that need that?
Yes.
But
you know,
isn't
on that verge?
But here's the thing. Isn't that what guidance counselors are for? Like, that's...
Yeah, now, not to play the devil's advocate here, but...
For sure.
But... a lot of kids at the age of 13, they do find, we've been there.
Right. They find stuff on
guidance. Well, I'm saying like guidance counselors and, you know, people of adult age, it's hard for them to talk to them because they have a feeling they're not going to relate.
Well, I agree, but how are you going to have a suicide class with a teacher that's doing the same thing, you know? I mean, it's kind of the same.
Unless you got somebody that, that's
been through it or like that's maybe younger.
Maybe Chad Dunlap teaching it.
Chad Dunlap would be a great one to do that. That was actually one of my favorites. Like he just is so empowering. Like and maybe you do have the right one, but is it like an assembly or is it like a course?
And I don't know.
Like
maybe he is. It said it was a program. So I don't know. And maybe he is. Maybe he does do something. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know everything there is with it. I just saw kids in 8th grade are going to start doing this program, and I'm like, okay, you're just gonna force them to do it.
But it's almost kind of like and obviously home ec and suicide prevention is not the same thing.
Right?
Are they really going to pay attention? Like, are they really just going to be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm hearing? Like, they're not going to hear you unless there is one. And maybe they're trying to find like mass numbers. Like maybe they are trying to find that one kid that's going through something that says, holy crap, I need help, and I'm realizing I need help, and hopefully the success of that program would be like they would step up and say, I need help and go to somebody. But Are they though? Like most of the time they don't, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think maybe it should just be a choice.
It's a catch-22 a little bit.
It is.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just a young age for me.
It's I think if we were doing it with the seniors, but I know, or like even sophomores.
Yeah. But then at that point though,
it's already happened.
Is it too late?
Yeah.
I get it,
It's a fine line. It's a fine line for age group and mental capacity. I
don't know about 8th grade though, but I mean maybe freshman. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
everything's different now than what it was.
But all the 8th graders are in the high school anyway now, at least at our high school.
Right,
so they kind of are like
they're experiencing that already. Then
yeah.
God, times are changing, man.
It is. In other news, RIP Bob Saget again here. But in other news, Trey Songz. You guys remember Trey Songz?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bottoms up.
Okay.
It's Mr. Still Your Girl.
That was our 99 Banana Columbus song.
That's right.
Yes, that was,
Trey Songz was accused of rape by a basketball player, Dylan Gonzalez. She's a very famous basketball player, actually, Dylan Gonzalez.
Oh, that's a girl?
I thought it was a guy, too. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was accusing
gorgeous.
Trey Songz of rape?
She literally put it on Twitter. She said, I'm tired of feeling, like I've been holding this down and, holding it in or whatever. She goes, but I'm going to name my attacker. And Trey Songz raped me at a Las Vegas hotel. And I'm putting it out there. And I want to feel for all the victims of, sexual assault and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, she threw it out there just like that.
Good for her. Can I be a bit controversial with that though? Like,
sure,
why aren't we starting a lawsuit about that then? Like, why aren't we saying like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we go to? And I hope it is.
Yeah.
But like, why are we going to Twitter first versus like, okay, I'm going to like, I'm going to press charges on you. You know what I mean? But good for her for speaking up and having that big of an audience and speaking up and saying, you know what? Enough's enough. This is
She said she just got tired of fighting the demons inside of her.
And good for her. Like, and sometimes you need that outlet.
Twitter, like you said, Twitter's probably like one of the biggest platforms. She can probably get that out
Absolutely.
there. To probably start the lawsuit and everything. So.
Right. And I'm not saying she shouldn't put it on there. Good for her for doing that. But I'm like, okay, is there a lawsuit backing this up instead of just like starting like, oh, hey.
Right.
Yeah. But good for her.
So, also another news, Ben Affleck, Mr. Old Batman, he just reflected recently on how Matt Damon actually influenced his decision to leave the Batman role behind. He said he was contemplating coming back, and then him and Matt Damon had to sit down, and Matt Damon said, are you happy? Do you like it? Is it still interesting to you? And he said, no.
Matt Damon said, lion face. Lemon face. Applesauce, bitch.
So basically,
That's crazy.
but yeah, he said he says that Matt Damon was his influence on leaving the Batman.
Oh, not coming back.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Well, right on.
Those dudes have been friends for ever, dude.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody needs that good friend to reach out to and say like, man, is this really what's satisfying
he
you?
said,
like,
he kind of went into detail a little bit, but he didn't. He said there was a lot of bad things that happened with the Justice League that he didn't agree with. He said there was a lot of things that he said it didn't seem like he didn't feel like he was as interested in it as he should have been.
Well,
so that's why
and then you're not going to play your best role. Like,
No,
you know what I
not at
mean?
all.
So that's good for them.
Yeah. How do you think he did on playing Batman?
I thought he did a great job.
I thought he was amazing.
I thought he was
I liked him.
Awesome. I loved him as Batman.
Did you?
I think he can keep going with this.
I heard he surprised a lot of people.
As long as it's Zack Snyder doing the whole Justice League and Batman thing, golden.
Right. I agree with that.
Do you think it was the reason it was the whole double movie thing and probably a lot of problems in between?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in between, but
Yeah.
definitely Zack Snyder stopping halfway through them filming, and then Josh Whedon from the Avengers movie coming up and be like, yeah, I'm going to take over. It's like, well, now you got two different visions, and that's why it didn't do very good.
Yeah.
Yep. So the new trailer for the new Jackass Forever is out.
Yes.
I'm excited, but not excited.
I feel like it's just something that I'm with you because
This has been going on since we have been in middle
school, right? It's kind of like just leave it behind. You're kicking a dead horse here.
I remember watching
pun intended. Oh, God.
in the band room.
I'm
they
still
had
gonna watch it. I think it's
previews
still
of
gonna be-
MTV The Jackass for their shows.
Yeah.
I
in middle
remember.
school.
I remember I wanted to be like a female Jackass person when I was in middle school.
Didn't want to be part of Jackass.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
He is right.
But you're like, they're kicking a dead up. But hey, they did
Good
have
for
that
them.
first one or second one.
They're probably hurting for money though. Like, think about it. Like, they don't have like acting roles besides Johnny Knoxville for a while.
This'll
Like, they probably
probably
are just like, all right, let's make a few million and we'll be
This will
good.
probably be 100% their last one.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, they're in their 40s now. They've got 40s, 50s.
Johnny Knoxville's probably pushing about 50.
50. Yeah, he's almost 50
And they don't
now.
even have some people in it.
Right.
Like Bam's not going to be in it.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing. I mean, he's
doing terrible.
Yeah, he's not.
Doing drugs.
Is he?
Well, they try. Well, he's
Or is
been
it
back
alcohol?
It's probably both.
Probably both.
He's been rehab back, and even the
And he had
Jackass
such a
guys
hot wife.
try to get him.
Oh my God, she's smoking.
I think he had two.
Oh, really?
He had like a wife, and then he had like his baby mama,
Oh, okay.
and they were both pretty good looking.
Okay.
I think they're still both
I'm
around.
talking about the blonde.
Yeah, and he has a blonde and a brunette.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the Jackass guys try to get him help. Like, hey, we want to send you to rehab.
As they should, because how many of them struggle with drug problems and
Right.
they all
They're all
band
doing
together?
now.
Yeah, like
But-
Steve-O, he's been
I don't
sober
know.
forever.
Was Johnny Knoxville always like kind of level-headed though?
Kind of, I'm sure he had
think
his
so.
time, but he's kept a pretty straight head,
Yeah.
especially being in the Hollywood spotlight. He knows how to put on a show.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Be professional about it. But
Yeah, I think what's great for them is that they are such a good band of friends and
Yeah.
they do look out for each other. Like it's not just like
That's what they did with
business,
Bam.
but yeah.
They tried, and he just like, no, I don't want it. They're like, well, we're not going to put you in Jackass because of your health.
Yeah, I
Understand, man.
Right,
good for them. I still have all my like Jackass DVDs and like Bam, like Viva La Bam like seasons. Like,
That's awesome.
but yeah, I'll still watch it. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
for sure.
definitely
February
will.
4th,
good
I believe
stuff.
it comes out. February 4th.
February 4th. So, Spider-Way No Way Home tops the box office for the fourth straight week, bringing in now $1.53 billion, surpassing Avengers Endgame.
Good God.
Wow.
Without any of my help.
For once.
Jeez.
It is.
That's nuts.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. And I like my husband doesn't like to watch movies. I need a
that's
movie
right. We didn't
date.
talk about
Like,
that. We
yeah,
didn't.
I need a movie date. Like accepting movie dates now. Just DM me. It's fine. Slide on into my DMs. I'll accept
Slide into
it.
my DMs.
See,
for
so
some
my
regal
girl
dates.
likes watching. We like watching movies, but we're just our schedules and everything doesn't
Yeah.
mix like match up. And
Yeah.
when we do, the sound messes up and we can't watch them. So we're just like, cool. The one time we come out,
Right.
Yep, that
Dublin, bro. You're just gonna have to take the hour and 20-minute drive. It's
It's
worth
not
it.
even that bad. It's not even that bad of a
No,
drive.
oh, I don't
It's
mind
not.
driving at all because it's the one thing we did in Texas, which there's a lot more weather, like nicer weather, was the drive-in.
I mean,
Yeah.
everything in Texas though is like 45 minutes apart.
is a
Like I've
long-
been
it is-
there.
it is
like,
really far.
Yeah.
It is
so
a
it's
long
like,
movie.
oh, you need to go to Walmart? Okay, well, buckle up for 45-minute ride.
Yeah, so when I said from here to Texas is 14 hours, 10 of those hours is just Texas.
is in Texas, yeah.
Just trying to get out of the
Well,
state.
and just like going to Vermont, like when I say like it's 11 and a half hours, it's 4 hours, 3.5 hours in Ohio, like 45 minutes in Pennsylvania because you're going through like the little like panhandle or whatever it's called. And then 9 hours of it is in New York, all of upstate New
Right.
York until you take it up to
Jeez.
Vermont. And I'm like, and it's only like 45 minutes to an hour in Vermont to where I lived. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like when you get those big states, you're just like, holy crap. Or like Georgia, when you go to Florida, it's like 10 hours of your trip.
Yeah. But that's where we'd go. We'd always go to the drive-in.
Dude, tell you what though.
But it'd be 45 minutes away in a place called Ennis, double feature. And you get two of the good movies.
Dublin's a great place to go watch it though, not only because of the recliners and stuff. Very comfortable place. But after you're done there though, you only have to travel like a couple miles away and you get to eat at Dewey's Pizza, which is like a New York style pizza. Like,
Yeah,
I'm talking,
Dewey's is good. I've been
talking
there.
about like the slices.
Oh, the big foldable slices.
Not bigger what we're used to
right,
around here.
okay.
But and it's top notch pizza.
Muy bueno.
Top notch pizza.
Okay.
Dewey's Pizza.
Stick it in your back
Dublin.
pocket.
Probably what we're going to do this weekend is go rewatch No Way Home Spider-Man and like actually watch
And it's
the whole
actually
thing.
not that expensive of a theater. Like I think it might be, if not the same
Let
price.
me tell you this.
It's like maybe a couple bucks more, I think.
Yeah,
it's
it's not
not
that
really
bad.
that much.
An adult at Regal. Is that where you guys watched yours at?
Yeah, it was $12.25.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I mean, going to a movie is legit expensive, though. Like, I
It's
mean,
not bad, but when I went to those nice ones in Texas where you can recline and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
same price as
Right,
Regal.
right.
exactly. And then you're like,
I
bro, so
wanna
you're
say-
like
you
literally
know what?
getting like
Now that
scammed,
I-
like
yeah.
by,
Now that
by
I think
Regal.
about it, I think that
Hashtag Regal, up your game.
Yeah, no shit. Come on. I think the theater in Dublin though, it might be a Regal cinema in Dublin. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, but the I think it might be. I could be wrong. Could be between 15 to 18.
Hey,
Yeah, and that's not bad when
if
you're
the
thinking about the
sound works
experience.
and I can like watch the movie,
Yeah.
I'll pay it.
Right.
Now,
I just want
if
to
you've got
watch.
$12 to watch a movie, you've got the $18 to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
a movie.
That's
Like,
why
you
I
know
go to
what
the
I mean?
drive-in.
Being comfortable.
Yeah.
We'd play like $12 a person, and I got to watch 2 movies and bring my own speaker and sneak in my own. Well, during
my kids love the drive-in.
You know what? I think it's great that drive-ins are a thing in Texas. I mean, there's still one in Vandale,
and then there's Sydney.
Sydney's still one
because they still have those commercials during. I don't know if you've seen them during the pandemic, but when we went to the drive-in, they actually opened them up, and they're just like, "Hey, if you pay an extra $5, you can bring all the food you want."
Oh, remember the guy got mad in Sydney. Was it called Van View or something like that?
I can't remember what it's called. No, Vandale's like
in Delphus.
In Delphus, I think. They did a horror. Vandale did like a horror like movie package where like they had like 2 different like horror movies, and I was like, I want to go do that. Like in October.
The Sydney one does that too. Yeah.
Do they? Mm-hmm. There's one that's shut down now, but it was the Salina one, like right across from like Northmore golf course.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? And that's basically what the driving range hits into now. And I'm like, why don't they open that back up? Like that is becoming a thing. Like there's again, like people are enjoying it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the driving.
Especially during the pandemic.
For sure, when there was nothing. Like
it was packed. Yeah. So we went there early.
Packed and stacked.
We were actually like one of the first ones there every time. We sit there for like an hour and a half and just chill just to get our spot.
Well, right, because I mean,
but in Texas, again, everything's bigger in Texas for the most part.
Right.
The drive-in we went to had like 7 to 8 screens.
Oh my God! So you just got to
huge.
like almost like a Regal, but like a drive-in.
It was
so you
all
got to
outside.
Pick
So there's like literally when you walk in or drive in, they're just like 1 through 4 is left, 5 through 8 is to the right.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
It was awesome. It was so cool. I thoroughly enjoyed them.
Leave it to Texas to just Texify it.
So going back to the current events here, we got an Ohio team that made the playoffs. Bengals, obviously, we talked about that earlier.
Hey.
And then they'll be playing the Raiders on Saturday at 4:30.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I know my dad. Listen, Dad's gonna be all ears on it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You're walking like who day? Like get out.
They actually
exactly.
So have you seen?
Like you were raised better than this.
Have you seen the memes though? They showed Derek Carr because he looks like Marv now from Home Alone.
I did see that.
And they like Macaulay versus Marv. So it's Macaulay versus Marv.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I never realized he looks like Marv. I always
oh my God, he does.
Burrow looks like Macaulay.
Yeah, he does.
Dude, yes.
I have not seen those memes yet, and I hope that my phone's listening to me and I start seeing them.
Algorithm's picking it up right now.
Right, come on, algorithm, work your magic.
Derek Carr, Marv.
Derek Carr,
Wait,
Marv.
You said the Salina movie theater, right?
It's not open anymore.
No, the Salina one's not open anymore.
Dublin. Right. I'm so sorry. I read that wrong. Dublin movies?
For drive-ins or for like the reclining ones?
No, the reclining. That was Dublin,
yeah, the reclining. Yeah, Dublin.
AMC.
Oh, it's an AMC?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So it's not a Regal.
Okay. Well, Regal, step your game up. My hashtag stands.
Bro, for real.
That's right.
But I will bring up one thing that I had a problem that didn't go back to Regal, Cinemark in Texas. When one of the newest Star Wars came out.
Oh, now you're in my universe.
My buddy had an awesome, authentic Stormtrooper helmet. And I went in a Kylo Ren costume with an awesome, non-retractable lightsaber. It was one half of Darth Maul. It was awesome. We walked in, and the lady that was taking our tickets had said, "You can't come in here with that." Now, granted, it was a little bit after the theater.
Wasn't that in Colorado?
Theater shootings. Yeah, it was maybe like a little bit after that. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, the way she handled it, she said, "Don't you know what's going on?" And I kind of snapped at her and I said, "So you think I'm just going to go around murdering everyone with this lightsaber?
With this fake lightsaber?"
Everyone in line above me, in front of me, had a collapsible lightsaber or a mask. And then she turns to my buddy and says, "And you're not allowed to wear that mask over your face. We have to see your face."
Yeah, now we have to wear a mask because Divock.
Well, now this was like,
but like 2014 or something.
Oh my good! I was so I was like, cool. Went and got my money back, and I was like, dude, I'm not going back to my car to change out of my outfit.
Right.
She ruined everything.
Ruined.
Everybody else was dressed up, but I guess I didn't have a collapsible lightsaber.
Right.
Take it back to your car. I was like,
gotta have the collapsibles. All about the collapsibles.
So yeah, I haven't. I'm looking for this meme. I can't find it.
Oh, real quick. And then 2 weeks later, Ragnarok comes out. Thor, some dude in front of me had like fake swords, and he got let in. So I was like, what the F?
You let that in, but you don't let the lightsaber in.
So you know what? Okay. Tomato.
So this is the only one I've seen so far.
Skittles.
Skittles.
There you go, Adam.
Woof.
Sunday 4:30, Paul Brown Stadium, Derek Carr. Blow! It's where Mark puts his head through the doggy door. And
he's got the BB gun.
Hello. Yeah.
You know, that'd be a fun game to go tailgate to. Maybe I'll like tell Andy, look, let's just go tailgate. Let's go do something different.
I would love it.
Be awesome.
I mean,
It'll be fun.
And then, so also Georgia won the national championship.
Yep.
So did you see the game at all?
I did not.
Oh, I did. Yeah, but like the first through the third quarter, the first through third quarter, like it was kind of boring because it was very defensive and just very like only field goals, and I kind of just stopped watching and just was kind of doing my own thing. And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter happens and you're just like,
just turned it up.
Boom, here's the dogs. Like
the final score again.
It was like 33-17, I want to say.
It was a blowout. Man.
It was absolutely insane.
Well, good. I'm glad Alabama lost.
They did lose.
Sorry.
They also lost. Who was an ex-Buckeye, Jamison Williams, their number one wide receiver. He blew out his leg basically in the second quarter.
I didn't realize that's who that was. I didn't realize he was an ex-Buckeye. But
what team was he on?
He was a Buckeye. He transferred to Alabama because he wasn't getting playing time.
Same with freaking Burrow. Jesus, Ohio State's like really kind of messing some stuff up sometimes.
Well, it happens. I mean, a lot of guys get looked over. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot of 5-star players that go.
There's a lot of talent in those teams on the backup, and you never. It was weird to just see like two SEC teams. So like it was an SEC like game, and I'm like, I mean, isn't it normally like in the national championship you have somebody from like the Big East or the Big Ten versus usually the SEC? Let's be real, like as Orion Poor would say, SEC speed.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, yeah.
So, but no, it was a good match though.
It was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was like 9-6 up until about. Right at the end of the third quarter, Georgia scored, made it 13-9. Then I think Alabama kicked another field goal, made it 12-13, something like that. Or that could have been vice versa. And then you get into the fourth quarter, and it's just like
push it to the limit.
Oh, dude! I mean,
really,
we're talking about pick sixes, like 60-yard touchdown throws. I mean, it was just
this is back and forth kind of deal.
No,
kind of.
Georgia really
for a hot minute, and then Georgia was like,
Georgia was like, we're just gonna shut this shit down now.
Like
here we
Alabama,
are.
No more.
They just didn't have it in them, man. Georgia's defense was way too tough.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
Georgia's defense was. I mean, they're the real deal.
It is the real deal.
Yeah. There's a reason why they said what was there. I think there's 7 out of the 11 that are going pro next year from Georgia's defense.
Wow.
Like they're first round, like predicted to be first round drafts, aren't they? Like,
yes.
That
most
good.
of them in the first round.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
You go, Georgia.
Yeah.
Get it, dogs.
Their linebacker, Nakobe Dean.
Oh, yeah.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
Well, I can't wait to watch.
And then their defensive tackle, that dude who's 6'7", 385 pounds.
Well, I can't wait to watch the draft.
Listen,
there's a lot of good players going out this year. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Mini side note, I hope when my husband listens to this that he's like, man, she does pay attention to football because he thinks that I'm so clueless.
I'm a little bit impressed.
I'm like, no, I pay attention. I know this
both
shit.
Both teams are SEC. I was like, well, I'll tell you what.
This girl came to play today.
I tell you what.
Get a little Skittles and it's just all these analytics start popping out.
Get off.
Logan Paul dropped millions of dollars on Pokemon cards that now might be fake.
Wait, was this recent?
This is recent.
So I've seen well, a while ago, he went to a guy's house and bought a Charizard for like $450,000. That was real, but this is a recent one where...
This is a recent one.
Listen, this is not what I expected out of like Logan Paul headlines. I'm like, oh God, here we go with another Logan Paul, Jake Paul fight,
He's
still
super
like...
into Pokemon, though.
I did not know that.
Some
that is
reason I knew that.
I had no clue about that. And I'm like...
Yeah, apparently
that literally just.
I enjoy Pokemon. That's one of the cards I got away with from me when I was real young. Was that one Charizard card?
Did you hear about the 2 LA cops that got fired?
I wonder if he plays Pokemon Go.
That's what I was just going to talk about. There's 2 LA cops that just got fired because they were being radioed to assist in an arrest or whatever, and they chose to ignore the call because they were playing Pokemon Go.
What?
Yeah, and it was all on their body cam.
Oh,
they deserve for that. Like, oh my God! Like, okay, so when Pokemon Go,
tell your dad about that one. Adam's dad is the next cop for anybody.
Yeah. Like you kind of deserve. Like, what? Like, come on. Like,
Yeah, he would never.
oh my God.
He would never.
Like, hold up, man. I gotta get some back.
I've almost got
I
it.
know they need our help, but just not right
Just
now.
like, come on. Like, 5 more minutes,
Mom.
Mom. 5 more minutes.
Got it. I almost got
So
it.
when Pokemon Go first came out, like I remember going, like I remember
even
this
know how it works.
clearly. I don't either. I've kind of got some friends that play it. Like I do think it's great because it's a very active game. Like you literally walk around and you search for Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay.
Supposedly, I don't play it, so my understanding of this. When it first came out, the bar. It used to be called Docksiders. I think it's now. It's in Salina. It's got like the rooftop boardwalk. It's called Boardwalk.
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
So we were sitting on the.
Yeah.
We were sitting on
Boardwalk
the
Bar and Grill.
Yes.
Been away a long time.
So right.
That's where we shot the commercial at for Grand Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right by the lighthouse.
Absolutely right,
So
yes.
there's like a lot of nice walking paths by there, and we were sitting up on like the deck at Boardwalk because why would I walk when I can drink? Like, let's be real.
Yeah, that's probably why I
Facts.
forgot what you're talking about.
So
Skittles.
Get out.
So we were watching these people in these cars drive by like multiple times. We finally could kind of see somebody's like phone a little bit, like kind of looking in, like why is everybody on their phones like walking like like looking at their phones. They literally were Pokemon going, and there must have been something hot there. Well, then it turns out like a week later, somebody drove their car into the lake supposedly, or people would like get onto their boats and be like, "There's a Charmander out here." Like,
Man, in Texas, it was. That's where
Yeah.
I was when it got huge. So I
Yeah.
heard a lot of different stuff. But every time when that came out, every Tuesday we go down to downtown Dallas for Taco Tuesday, and they had Pokemon stops, and you would just see everyone playing so much Pokemon Go. I'm just
Really?
like, yo, I can't. I played it for a very brief time, and then I just like, and then they came out with a new Pokemon, and I'm like, and I'm out.
right. I never got into it, but in theory, it does sound like kind of
When
a fun
you
game. It
first
gets you
started,
out
it was
and walk
pretty
and-
simple, and then it got too complex, and I'm like,
as does everything.
out of here, dude.
Yeah.
So Denzel Washington, everybody knows Denzel Washington. Do you watch Grey's Anatomy at all?
Every once in a while, like I'm not like a huge like Grey's
Huge
Anatomy.
fan. My wife is. She's probably watched it literally more than 11 times.
It's
like
not
the
something
entire
I.
series.
It's not something I put on repeat,
I
but
don't
it is a
think
good
I've-
show.
I don't think I've ever watched an episode.
So, and I catch a lot of them. I mean, some of them's not bad, but it's a big drama show. Anyway, so Denzel Washington, he actually directed one of the Grey's Anatomy shows.
Oh, cool.
And Ellen Pompeo, she is and I don't know if I'm saying that right, don't care. But she is the star of Grey's Anatomy. So anyway, Denzel Washington responds recently to Ellen Pompeo saying that he went ham on me during a Grey's Anatomy set that he directed.
What?
So
He went ham on me.
yeah. So
I like that.
basically, she's saying that, and it's all good now. But she said when he was directing the show that for that one episode, they had a fight. Basically, her and Denzel did. Like he was like what happened was she changed some of the dialogue in one of her scenes.
Yeah.
And Denzel basically yelled at her, telling her, "You have to stick to the script.
Do your job. This is what I want.
Like stick to the script. Like this is what is wrote."
He probably went all equalizer on her. Like,
So,
is this what you want?
And I guess
You
like
think you can get away with this?
She said that he yelled at him. She literally said this: "Tell that motherfucker that he actually yelled at me."
What?
And Denzel kind of laughed it off or whatever, and was just like, we're good or whatever. We had our fight, or it is what it is. He kind of like brushed it off.
Probably because he doesn't care, because he
Yeah.
probably makes way more
Yeah, but
than
El-
her.
and
Like,
El-
no
he
offense,
made,
but
he made Training Day. Let's be real.
Yeah,
yeah, that
Ellen
was on
Pompeo-
TV the other
Ellen
day.
Pompeo did.
We were watching it.
She's well off though too.
She is,
She's
but,
done
like,
well with Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, yeah, because she's been on it forever. But like Denzel makes one movie, and he probably makes more than she does with one movie than she does in a season. But
Sure, probably true. But yeah.
no offense, Ellen Pompeo, if you ever listen to this.
I'd actually like to see what she does make per Grey's Anatomy episode because she's still in it. That's still.
I mean, she's the longest running cast member in that show, I do believe.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but so anyway, though they both said it was funny, like it happened.
Yeah.
We fight on set, but
brush it off.
She did say Denzel did quote saying that Ellen yelled at him after he yelled at her, and she goes, "This is my fucking show. This is my fucking set."
Get it, girl. You know what?
He's like,
Effing get it, girl. Like,
you do
get
you,
it.
girl. You do you.
So,
I like that.
but it was pretty funny though. So, and she actually talked about it on her podcast. She has her own podcast, Grey's Anatomy podcast. So.
Ooh, but you know what? If she's been on it for so long, like, yeah, like it is her show. You're here to direct one episode. Like, I can see that. I get a little like.
That's true. I mean,
I could get a little defensive. Like,
if you've been on there for multiple seasons, one time,
she makes she makes $600,000 per episode. And they come out with 28 episodes a year.
Okay, she might be doing this as good as Denzel Washington. I retract my statement.
$600,000.
What do you do with that much money
per episode?
My God.
Yes.
Like, you know what?
What?
You know what? Mic drop. I thought I was doing good as a travel RT because I'm like, oh, what do I even do with this paycheck?
It's her show and it's her set.
You know what? You're right. It is her show. It is her set. Ellen Pompeo, you get it, girl.
That's why she didn't look at Denzel and was just like, you're done.
You're fired. She didn't just Donald Trump him and say, you're fired.
Get out.
If it's one episode.
Yeah, he's directing one episode.
Out of here.
Get out of here. Like,
she did, but after all this, though, after all this was still said, she still laughed about it, and she was just like, I loved working with Denzel. She goes, he was amazing to work with. She goes, actors fight or whatever. She's like, it's part of it.
Right.
She's like, you get over it, you move past it, and you create a show.
I mean, how many times do you work with somebody in real life, like, and you like kind of get annoyed with them, and then you just have to be like, you know what, this is business. Like, okay, it is what it is.
$600,000. Yeah, let's just do it.
I do things for a lot less money than that, and I get annoyed with people at my job, and I say, hey, walk it off.
$600,000 an episode.
You know what I think about it? Wasn't it 2.5 Men?
So,
what's his name?
Charlie Sheen
was getting like $1 million an episode, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But they've never done as many as Grey's Anatomy.
No.
That's still a lot of money, though.
That's
still a lot of money, sure.
Good God, man. Are you kidding me?
Make it rain.
Jeez Louise.
So they do anywhere from 24 to 20, or anywhere from 22 to 28 episodes per season. Mm-hmm. And they have 18 seasons out.
That's a lot.
So hold on.
So let's
600,000. How many seasons?
So we've got.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
I like how we're all our folks doing the math.
They do 36 episodes per season.
Okay, so 36 times.
And this is in a year. This is just a year.
No,
maybe?
wait, hold on. I take that back. 27 episodes per season.
Okay.
So that's
27.
That's
27
16.2 million, give or take the blah blah blah
Times
blah,
18.
Blah, blah.
27 times 18, 486 times 600K. Mm-hmm. $291 million.
291.6 mil.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, you're talking about total.
Yes.
Okay, all the seasons.
Yes.
Yeah, she's doing quite well for herself.
Get off my set.
Get off my set.
Get out of here.
I think
This whole time we thought he was making more money.
yep, we were wrong.
Jeez.
We were dead wrong. Dead ass wrong.
Yeah. She's probably one of the most wealthiest ladies in LA.
She ain't doing bad.
She ain't doing bad.
She ain't doing bad.
Okay.
Okay.
You got my attention.
Okay, so we have the Earth.
Oh my
We have Aaron
Ellen
Pompeo.
Pompeo, I want to pitch something to you.
Have you heard of RG? Have you heard of RMG?
So Sandra Bullock came out saying recently that if it wasn't for Netflix, a lot of actors and actresses wouldn't be working right now. She's saying that during the pandemic and everything that's been going on or whatever, that that Netflix has basically kept the lights on for a lot of actors by giving them work.
Especially her. She's been in a lot of stuff on Netflix.
Yeah,
Andy was just watching something on Netflix. I wish you were still awake and I could text him and be like, what was that movie you were watching the other day?
Yeah, I think everybody's.
But I think a lot of those streaming sites helped out a lot of
agreed.
people.
I mean, look at Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot just played in Red Notice.
Adam Sandler's been in a lot of Netflix specials.
And that's just Netflix alone.
Yeah. David Spade has made a comeback.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's look at John Cena real quick on Hulu.
Look at all the stand-up comedians.
Can we just pause
Amazon
and say, yes, Amazon Prime. I was literally just going there.
Dude, so many.
So much.
Yeah. So much stand-up.
I was just watching Steve Tervino, and he basically talks about like couples and like him and his wife.
Yeah. I've seen that on there. I need to watch it.
Oh my God, funniest shit ever. Me and Andy were like literally like...
Best show on Amazon though? And you know what I'm about to say.
Let's hear it for the boys.
No.
Oh,
I do like The Boys, but it's the one that I told you about.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
I've been wanting to watch that, and it's been out for a while. And also, like,
have you watched The Office?
Well, duh. I was just gonna say, grown-up John Krasinski.
Dude,
like,
seeing him super shredded wheat and like Secret Agent, I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna start watching it when Andy's away.
Yeah,
it is really surprisingly amazing.
You put that on your list. Cobra Kai, Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
every episode.
Jack Ryan's already on my list, and I just like have not taken the time to do it. And I'm like, I need to.
I told Adam,
they're like mini movies.
Yes.
I told Adam, I was like, you will not regret your decision on watching Jack Ryan.
But
no
I really love
regrets.
John Krasinski, so I was like, I have to watch it. Holla at my boy.
Especially seeing John Krasinski like go, especially when he was in A Quiet Place, like seeing him from his role in The Office, like where he was super sarcastic and dry humory to like in Jack Ryan, like it's an action show, and like seeing him grow into that role, and then like in A Quiet Place, like it's seeing how multifaceted he is as an actor, like amazing.
Awesome. Oh yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely.
And lastly, here we got Tom Holland. Actually, just recently was talking about on what happened when he pitched a James Bond origin story to Sony and how he blew it.
Oh God.
Oh.
So apparently, Tom Holland during the
I think I heard something about this.
Yeah, he wants to play James Bond really bad.
I mean, he would have to be like a young James Bond.
Well, that's what he's talking about. Is that he pitched to Sony that he wants to do the origin of James Bond, like growing up,
Yeah, but you can't.
like an origin story.
But
But
I feel
apparently
like
he blew it, though. I guess he didn't really pitch it very well.
well, sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, but
He's also got the #1 movie out right now.
exactly like and sometimes when
That's true.
he's so iconic in like Spider-Man right now, like that's like his role right now. If you take that to another iconic like series, like
Well,
it's just
did you
not
see
really
he's
gonna
be in
mesh.
the video game / movie now, Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg.
That looks amazing.
That was one of the previews while I was trying to watch Spider-Man, and I had no idea what the was going on.
Wow,
it looked awesome.
I'm going to tell you this. They don't tell you a lot of what's going on in that trailer.
I mean, it's like, if you ever played the video games,
it's more. I want to now because I watched the trailer.
They're awesome, bro.
For Spider-Man, and I was
They're
like,
awesome.
bro, this looks sweet.
Right?
Wait, you're talking about Uncharted or Spider-Man?
Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted is pretty. I mean, both Spider-Man and Uncharted are sweet video games, but Uncharted is awesome. It's a good storyline and all that stuff.
Well, the
now they got
movie,
Mark Wahlberg in it.
The movie looks
Right.
badass.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It looks
Movie
really
looks
good.
It does
badass.
look badass.
Like Tom Holland looks. He's playing a more mature type of character.
Okay.
And then of course you got Mark Wahlberg, who doesn't buck up anything. So.
Right.
Right. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, he's just. He's just
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, he's Mark Wahlberg.
If you haven't watched Spencer Confidential on Netflix yet,
that's so good.
He was great.
He was
And it's
great.
an underrated movie, but it's great.
Well, and I think because he was like literally like one of the only A-listers in it, and he nailed it.
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of gave me a Four Brothers vibe a little bit in a weird way, kind of, you know.
Hopefully
But
they have. Since he pitched the idea of him as James Bond and blew it, maybe he gave them the idea. He's like, you know what? Maybe we will do a James Bond prequel, but not with you.
But not with you.
Or maybe with them.
I don't know
Maybe
why
they'll
you.
write
I
something.
don't know why you wouldn't want to hire.
Right.
I think
maybe
an
they're
origin.
#1 movie.
You know
right
what?
now.
Right.
You did bad at telling the plot or whatever you did.
Well, he's not a writer; he's an actor.
Yeah,
Right.
let us rewrite it.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he might in the future.
I think in theory that is that's a genius idea. I would love to go back to like some of the origins of that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you're really gonna have to make up a story because James Bond always takes off from him being an adult.
right.
So this is gonna have to be completely fiction. I mean, all
It's kind of like Gotham, like how Have you ever seen like the show Gotham?
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
seen a little bit of it.
I really liked it.
I heard it's really.
It's super good. It's on all seasons are on Netflix, so I highly you put that on your watch list.
Yeah,
like
that I need to. Definitely one of them.
it's super good because it's like the origin of like Batman. Like something that iconic, like that'd be really neat to see. Like how did this person get this way and be such like a badass or who they are?
I agree. It's awesome. Well, hey, we want to thank you for coming on the show today, Tabby.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was
Had a
super fun.
blast.
Oh my god, this is
so much fun.
Skittles.
Skittles.
Definitely a creeper.
You can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartMedia or iHeartRadio, and what else? Adam?
YouTube.
Apple Podcasts.
That one? Maybe you already said that one.
I know.
Skittles.
Hey, the social guys, thanks for coming by and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Tabby.
Thank you, Tabby.
Tabby Limbert, guys.
Great time.
Tabby, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You have to come back on the show.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching the social guys. Thanks again to our studio sponsor, Clue Studio, and we will see you later. We out, you. Bye.